Hello, everyone. Welcome to NPC. James is here once again. We are going to be discussing the Sleepers Awaken. And of course, we're doing an episode review, and James is here. There's going to be some bonus content after we do go through the episode. So stay tuned for that. James, thanks for being here again.
Yeah, sorry, I started off by laughing. There was that shot that I don't think gets broadcast, but it's in between you going from starting scene to the title screen, as it were. And there's just a shot where I was just all three of us just like,
is there?
Oh God, are we live? Yeah, but it doesn't appear on the actual broadcast.
Okay.
Yeah, because I've got the broadcast in the
You
background.
scared me for a second. I'm like, oh, the people at home just going to see us all just sitting
No,
here.
it goes from starting soon. That's all good, and then there's like a second of this view. But I was like, oh, we on? And then Skeletor was in the intro. And I was like,
I guess it's better than this.
It's better than the best cheeseburger I've ever had.
Oh man! So the Sleepers Awaken. This was one that Tyler had on the list for a while. I don't think it's an episode that's ever been really covered or discussed in depth.
Not the way we're gonna do it.
Yeah, absolutely not. And I've actually got it changed up for the presentation for this. So so here we go. Look at that. We got a little television action going on now.
Look at that over there.
Yeah,
I got it the right direction. Thank God.
So James, you are, you've written books about this. What production code are we looking at here with?
35.
35, season 1, yes?
Yes.
All right, Tyler, why did you want to do this episode this week? What is the big driving force?
I've mentioned it so many times over the years, established why I'm such a fan of it, but it's an episode that is beloved as it is. It's not thrown in the same batch of episodes that are constantly. If anyone from casual fans to hardcore fans, it's usually just the same batch of episodes like Diamond Ray Disappearance, and Problem with Power, or
Teela's Quest,
which they're all masterpieces. What's that Problem with Power? It sucks. Sorry, James.
That's all right.
But I'm like, do what?
You can't be right all the time, man. It's okay.
I do. Yeah, because I know James loves it and I hate it. Always have. But I know James, I could just tell, I think when I remember reading James's review on the old episode review website way back in the day when I was in high school, this guy really likes this episode just like I do. And he would point out stuff too, as I have mentioned to him over the years, things that I would not notice and things like that. And it just, as you get older and rewatch it. And it was one I used to rent as a kid. It was it
was one of the release. Was it on a single episode?
Right here. Yeah. And the thing was, it was only a one episode on this tape. This was one of those novelties that sometimes they released a VHS tape with just one episode on it. And that's what this was. So I would
feel
rent
like that was the first one as well. That was like a solo episode. I'm sure up until that point, it was
all the
doubles.
other VHS releases had 2 episodes on them up until the Magic Window collection. Then they would have 2, and then you have the five episodes,
the 5s,
like that. But for that one and the Rarest Gift of All, I think are the only one. Oh, that and the Save Skeletor. So there's 3 of them. But I used to like renting it a lot, and I didn't like renting episodes that didn't have Skeletor in it. But I really liked that episode. I thought Lady Valterra was hot as hell. I thought Lord Terran was creepy looking, with his decayed, old face, and the mechanical spider. And I just liked He-Man, being hit on by this really hot girl, I just thought it was great. And it was a great action-packed episode. You get older and you realize, God, there's a lot of mature content in this episode. As a kid, you see the simple things of, guys and girls being jealous and stuff like that. But as an adult, you should appreciate Douglas Booth's, writing of this couple that's been around for a long time that were just tyrannical assholes, and then they're kind of 180. They turn into better people at the end of realizing that it's not all about looks. It's about
I was gonna say the other thing is it's like you kind of pointed out, it's quite a serious episode. It's not a funny episode. There's no Orko, there's no Cringer. The only humor really comes from Adam trying to ride the flying horse. Flying Unicorn, that's another series. And I was just like, that's kind of as close as you get to comedy, because throughout it's pretty serious. He-Man does these little little asides here and there, but the episode is tonally played very seriously.
That, and I love the heroics in this episode. Like,
yeah,
it's a testament to just what a good person Adam is in general when he's portraying He-Man, of, telling Lady Valtera, power doesn't create beauty any more than slavery creates friends. Like, that's just, he's so intelligent about bringing this lady back down to earth. Like, she's got an ego bigger than Skeletor's in this episode, and she just is convinced that this is the way to live life. This is how you make friends. This is how you become beautiful. It's all about looks and things like that. And I just love how intelligent he is about just getting this really vain couple, to realize their mistakes of just, living a very vain life in general.
What I like about this episode as well is, like Nathan just kind of went to it, so we might as well jump forward to images, is that it starts off straight with a shot. Like, usually, you get establishing pan shots or something, like the shot of the planet Eternia or something. This one just starts off on the shot of the castle with the lightning, and then you get that the camera pulls back and they kind of truck it, like slide in. Just like, oh, nice use of depth there. And we're already in the story. Adam and Teela are out exploring, and they talk about this castle. This is from the flashback. The only scene to take place during the day is a flashback. So you get to see the castle in its once pristine form, ruled by this power-hungry couple. Power corrupts and all that. Lord Tyrion and Lady Valtera.
You were talking, they're usually either showing a planet shot or a panning shot. At least here, early on, you get the panning shot over to them. And
kind of in the exterior. Like, it's more commonplace. You go through that Filmation series, He-Man, She-Ra, or whatever, and it's always like the time filler is nice long panning shots. But in this, they have to use it to kind of establish the castle, which we'll come back to numerous times. It's like, here's what it used to look like. And of course, I always love that portrait on the wall as well.
Yeah, me too.
It
was a nice touch, and the interior of their castle is so unique.
It's my guess. I don't know this for a fact, but my guess is Bruce Zick illustrated it. He's the guy that did. So he designed a lot of like Eternia's landscape, so like the weird rock structures and stuff like that. The kind of areas around, where like Merman ends up in the mud pool, that kind of weird.
Yes.
That kind of structure, all that weird rock structure. That's Bruce Zick, and he did like a run on Thor after Ron Friends and Ron Friends and Joe Sinner, or Ron Friends and Al Milgrom left Thor. I think it was like Thor issue, I want to say like 4, 5. It's the cover was Thor with his hammer held aloft, and he was all painted, and he's like really kind of vascular, as they say.
I feel like I've seen that cover you're talking about.
You would know it, trust me. But that was Bruce Zick, and he was a background artist of Filmation. And when you see a lot of his kind of background designs, there's a lot of kind of like those faces and stuff and random bits and pieces. It just feels. I mean, every background artist at Filmation was stupidly talented, but when you see like later on when we look at the behind the scenes stuff, you get to see like the line art of that background, and it's just. The kind of detail is just, staggering, because you think it's just one shot for like 2 seconds or 3 seconds. And it's just like, now we've got to render a bunch of history into this place.
And it's fascinating to think too, because I believe according, I think it's like 200 years ago, I think is when they had when they went to sleep. What Eternia looked like if we were to like combine a lot of the things we know about, like. Where was their placement? Like, were they around the time that Chakotay was up and running during her first run, or any of these other tyrants, like before Skeletor, Hordak, the Snake Man, or even after their initial run on Eternia? Like, these people are, like, how much are they conquering? Like, do they rule a whole lot? Is it a small kingdom? And it's just kind of fun to think about where they are in the ranking on the totem pole of like.
Well, and also where are they? As we join them in this flashback, which is obviously 200 years in the past, it's where are we in their lives right now? And apparently, we're in this thing where they need to sleep to restore their beauty. It doesn't strike me in this flashback that they're utterly evil yet. It's almost like they've got to a point of, look, we did a lot of wrong, not a lot of wrong, but we've used our power and abused our power. We got old, and now we're going to go this 200-year sleep. And it's only when they awaken circumstances obviously result in them being, well, primarily Tehran being like baddies, as it were.
Oh, I guess I never really thought about that, because I had always kind of envisioned them as just being these, I mean, yeah, you're right. They're not necessarily depicted as overly cruel people, but they, it's just something about them that kind of makes you feel like, I mean, they're all about taking power from trees.
Yeah.
But it sounds like too that, they also do force people to do their bidding, like Valtira just touches Adam. That's something they probably have done a lot of times, and they've just got to the point where they've exhausted all their resources. Like the trees around them are all zapped up. Maybe they've worn out all of their slaves. Like, you know what, we'll just we'll take a long sleep, and when we get back up, we can start all over again. And
here's a little trivia for Tyler. Well, it'll be a test, and then it'll be a trivia. So obviously, I mean, you hopefully know, where does Sago pop up again?
Oh, he pops up when he turns to stone, when the moon shines in.
Oh no, I mean when does his character model get reused?
You
know this, Tyler?
Yeah, it's in it's the episode with Granomir and She-Ra. He's
No. That's Locust.
I'm getting that confused.
There is a reason for this. I'm not just randomly putting Tyler through the ringer.
No, that was Locust. Is that episode? I don't like that episode either.
Dark Smoke and Fire now. So this character model turns up again in a season 2 episode 90.
Man, he's tossing all out there, production codes and everything. I'll give all the production codes.
Who wrote it? I think it was written by White, something White, Richard White, Robert
Ron White.
No,
the comedian.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, he's that shitty comedian. Never mind.
So did you give up, Tyler?
Yeah, I give up.
There is a reason. This wasn't just like, I'm going to test Tyler. Sago returns as Batty in One for All, as the Sticky Fingers space pirate.
God, no wonder, because I don't like that episode.
Doesn't like that episode.
I don't have it memorized. Ones that I really just don't like, I just forget.
It's forgotten about. No, so this character model gets reused. And the funny thing is, when you go to that episode, look at the storyboards. Obviously, this stuff was never made public, but the storyboard artist for this episode is Don Manuel, right? So it's Don Manuel storyboards. That was
Don Manuel.
I've heard like filmation artists call it both. I used to call it Don Manuel, but then I heard Robert Lamb and Vic Dal-Kelly say, "Oh, Don Manuel." So I was like, "Okay, I'm going to go for a handbook, like a manual." So I'm going Don Manuel. Other manuals are available. So yeah, he storyboarded this episode, and he storyboarded One for All. So obviously, when he was storyboarding One for All, he thought, I'll reuse the dragon from Sleepers Awaken. But there are certain shots in this episode that pop up in One for All, like He-Man tying the thing, where he ties the bag with the dragon in. That pops up in One for All. And even like He-Man retrieving his sword from the ground was reused in One for All, as Prince Adam picks up when the sword is retrieved by Cringer, he picks it up again. It's like, I always love those little moments of you see that in certain episodes where it's like, this was used in that episode. I wonder if the same artist worked on that, and that's often the case, because they know, like, a lot of these filmation artists knew this series so well. So, and especially if you worked on an episode, it's like, I might just bring that guy back, and So that was the little bit.
That just makes it, because then I feel like I need to bring this up because you've addressed this before. The episode, fuck.
I don't know that.
It's technically Lizard Man's third appearance, but he's colored brown and he's wearing
Rarest Gift of All.
What's that?
Rarest Gift of All?
Yes.
Yeah.
And funny, I just mentioned the episode a few moments ago. Anyway, but that you said in the script, it is Lizard Man. Correct? Yes. But he's illustrated with a very elderly voice, a different color scheme, glasses. And I'm like, how is that possible? Like,
I don't know why that was. That's a weird one, because when you look at the model pack, if I remember rightly, it's been a while, it is Lizard Man. So it's like, well, someone clearly didn't get the memo. I've never got the answer to why Kothos changed appearance either. His skin gets lighter and his clothing changes. It's like, even his appearance as a sand slug is different, between The Witch and the Warrior and Revenge is Never Sweet. It's like, what happened there? So yeah, I guess sometimes certain changes, but like for Lizard Man, who you think was not a recurring character, but definitely one that you think, well, we've got this guy, we know what we're doing when we bring him back. It's like, no, we're going to make him brown and he's got reading glasses. It's like, okay, interesting. I kind of like it, to be honest.
Maybe Lizard Man did some nefarious things and then went to sleep and woke up and has,
or he has like a chameleon aspect to his body. So
that's what people have said.
The color of the rock that he's lying on.
Maybe he's a spy.
Yeah, or something like that. But I've often like, how is that? Because I've rewatched the trivia videos so much that James has done over the years, and that was one of my. I just need to like stop and ask him, like, how is that possible that it's him in the script, but that's not him on the screen?
Yeah,
you know.
Link down below. Subscribe to Serial Geek TV. Going back to Sego here, though.
Yes.
We're discussing that we don't know the severity of how bad of people that they were 200 years ago when they go to sleep and restore everything. But I get the impression here that Sego has no part of that. I just see a very neutral creature to me.
No, and also that's a good point you bring up, because also that leans into the fact that they may be kind of, power may have corrupted them, but they both clearly care for this little creature.
Yeah.
Like Valtira especially, but even Tyran, where he's like, sleep, Sego, when he sends him to sleep or turns him into a little stone statue.
I love their tombs that they fall asleep in. Like, I always thought
very
that was
cool.
So kind of mind blowing to see that these massive tombs they sleep in, like with the big headpieces behind them.
One thing we should point out before, like, kind of we get going really, is the voice of Lord Tyran.
Yeah.
I remember, like, the first time I saw the episode, well, not the first time, it would have been when I got the VHS, like in the early 90s, mid 90s, during the tape trading days. I was like, who's that? That's not this guy. It's not John Irwin, Alan Oppenheimer, Lou Scheimer. Who could it? And I'm just like, oh my goodness, it's George DiCenzo. It's Bo Hordak in a kind of early role, but obviously reprising his filmation work, because he was obviously Black Star, very very famously. I think he was Hercules in their Space Sentinel series as well. Maybe it's been a while.
He did a really good job of pretty much using his standard voice for many different levels.
Yes,
it's Bo, it's Sunder, it's Seahawk.
I didn't care for his Sven and tongue lasher voice. That one that's right up here in the range.
I always thought Sven was voiced by Alan Oppenheimer.
No, that's George DiCenzo doing his tongue lasher voice.
Oh my God, no! I always thought Tongue Lasher and Sven was always Alan Oppenheimer. I really did.
No, it's unfortunately it's DiCenzo.
God, his voices suck.
They do not resonate well.
No.
Would that always be a thing, especially even when you were kids, if you were starting to recognize the patterns and being like, oh, that voice sounds similar to that, and going back to you guys discussing, I didn't like that voice, I didn't like that voice.
I would say more so for like Marvel cartoons or other cartoons. The first voice where I was like, that's the same guy as that guy, was always Frank Welker. I know that sounds like an easy answer, but I remember like watching something like Amazing Friends and then Scooby-Doo and thinking, oh, that's the same guy. And then Frank Welker was one of the first people I remember seeing performing a voice, where he was on this, I've talked about it before, the behind the scenes episode of like the real Ghostbusters, where they showed the making of the show, and you saw Frank, and he's been interviewed. It's like a classic clip now online, but when it aired in the UK, we went to school the following day. We're like, oh my God, he did all these, because in that thing he does Kermit voice, he does his natural Ray voice, he does what, sorry?
Skeeter voice too, yeah.
He does mechanic. One of these guys. It's like, oh my God, he was mechanic as well.
I asked him about it. He had no memory of that.
Yeah.
It broke my heart. He had no memory of doing Bionic 6.
Oh man, yeah. But I mean, like, you get shows like that sometimes. It's whenever I speak to most Filmation people about their Ghostbusters show, Filmation's Ghostbusters, it's either, oh, we didn't want to do that, or, oh, I've got no recollection of it, because so many people just were like, we want to be doing more He-Man and She-Ra, we don't want to be doing this Ghostbusters nonsense. But what you gonna do? But I think, like, in terms of voices, it's quite funny, because one of the big issues with credits in the 80s, and I mean it's happened throughout the time, but is that you get those bulk credits, so you never got individually. Who storyboarded this episode? And the funny thing with the voice actors is, it was just these people. That's all you're going to get throughout the series. And it was even worse with the real Ghostbusters, because they only had these 5 main actors, and that show had so many. It wasn't when I got the call sheets off Marsha Goodman, I was just like, oh my god, like this person was in it, that person was in it, all these people, like James Avery was. I mean, I kind of had a feeling he was in it anyway, but you went through all these names. It's like there's all these actors that were just completely uncredited. It's just like, they did the bulk credit for network and syndication, and that was it.
Yeah.
So but it was always I think that was one of the first times I loved the animation process, but figuring out who was doing what voice was always a joy, where you're just like, kind of thing. And even like as recently as within the last 10 or so years, when I was just like, oh my goodness, like Crackers the Clown was voiced by John Irwin. That blew my mind. It was just like one moment I heard it and I was like, oh god, it wasn't Lou Scheimer, it was bloody He-Man himself voicing the clown. And I get silly joy out of stuff like that.
I wasn't nearly as in tune with it like you and Tyler were. I seem to recall as a kid, the only time really that sticks out to me is just Venkman and Ghostbusters, and then hearing his voice again in like the Betty Crocker commercials.
Oh yeah.
And I was like,
I
was like, oh, it's Venkman. But aside from that, I don't think any of that correlated with me. One more voice question I want to ask both of you, because you were talking about bad voices. Were there any that were so bad that it just turned you off of a particular character just entirely? You're like, that character sucks. It always sucks. Just based off of the voice.
Yeah, I know what Tyler's probably going to be the same as mine. Spycore.
Spycore and Too Bad, because that was when I got my collection of bootleg VHS. Like I was seeking out what episodes this characters were in, and when I finally would just get to it, you talk about fucking
disappointing.
I was so devastated to hear how bad Too Bad's voice and Spycore's voice was. I was just like, oh my god, that this is this, and to hear like in the episode here, there's Skeletors everywhere. Like Mechanex's voice is just this kind of high-pitched whining voice that Lou Scheimer. It's not the robotic voice that you hear in Disappearing Dragons or even A Search for a Son, which is not as
It's
robotic.
weird, isn't it? After like a certain wave of characters, I'm not saying Filmation got lazy at all, but it was sort of like, because you look at like Fisto and Cobra Khan, they got great voices.
Yeah.
Like Fisto has that crazy echo that kind of, at first you go, what? And then you realize, oh no, that works perfectly for this.
I thought it was badass when I heard that for the first time.
Awesome.
I was like, oh my god, that's so cool. And
but then when you get to like you say, later appearances of Mechaneck and even Cyclones ain't awful. I would say I like Mossman's. Who's kind of like,
expected to be a little bit more. He sounds like too soft and friendly, though. I think
that's the Filmation depiction of the character. When you think about him in Ancient Mirror of Abathar, he is this kind of peace guy, isn't he? He's kind of like, don't touch the root, don't hurt the roots, don't hurt the weeds, don't hurt the trees. So shut up, Greenpeace. That kind of shit. Just like, oh my god, take your preaching out of my cartoon. But I was
offended by Mossman's voice. It was fine, not as tough as I would have liked to have been. Cyclone's, like the one time he speaks and hear those Skeletors everywhere, like it's a kind of a cyborg robotic voice.
There's another episode he speaks, and that's where it's just like,
which I guess that was Beauty and the Beast, which I haven't watched that episode in so long.
All I remember is like one of his lines being like, "Now what?" And it's like, where does that come from? It's like, what? It's just
I would just I can't understand it, because I'm like, you look at certain characters like Buzz Off had the same voice. Yeah. It started off slightly different in Island of Fear, and it gets progressively better, like in Disappearing Dragons, and then from there on out. But for whatever reason, like Beastman's voice gets more idiotic.
I think Cringe's is the most.
Yes, Cringe's.
I still like the character and the voice, but I don't know why we keep coming back to this episode. When you look at Here, There, Skeletors Everywhere, Cringe's voice in that is like, I think, the worst. Man at Arms is me duplicating me. It's just like, oh god, what's
I look at Frady Cat is one of the
Cringe
worst.
Get the snip and just not get told?
I think he sounds probably the whiniest in Frady Cat. Is an episode that should have been better. Especially with all the cast of characters that's in that episode. You got the Dragon Walker in it, and like all I can focus on is this.
I feel like we better
overly
whiny.
I was just gonna ask Tyler when he's watching his bootleg VHS tapes, he finally gets the Too Bad. He hears the voice. And is there at some point you just walk over to your shelf, you pick up your Too Bad figure, and you're just like,
no.
Throw it in the trash.
It cannot take away from the illustrations and my love for that character.
Yeah,
I'm just thinking like this.
Well, that's kind of what I was asking around about. Way when you hear that voice, does it kind of ruin the rest of it for you?
It made me really like, because I would still watch, I'd watch Visitors from Earth and or Capture the Comic Keeper, like, hey Skelly, remember trying to capture a comic before? Like, oh my god,
when was John Laurinaitis?
Well, that's how Bluehead sounds in it. He sounds just like John Laurinaitis.
That is actually that's a scarily good impression there.
Johnny Ace worked for Filmation back.
No, but when I saw, and it's behind James, that painting of He-Man: The Legend Continues in Star Comics. Too Bad, and that was my way of showing that I had no idea that Too Bad was featured. Cyclone, Mossman, Roboto, and Strider were ever featured in the cartoon. So before I got any more VHS tapes,
oh man, you were very excited.
That was a big fucking deal. Like I didn't even question why Webster was colored green.
No,
it was like, to tell me that Too Bad and three of my favorite Heroic Wars are in the cartoon, and my favorite Steed are in there, and I've never seen them before. This is elementary school. This isn't a mid-90s when no one gives a fuck about He-Man. Like I'm happy than a pig in shit.
So it's funny because, like, I would say the most prominent appearances of those characters that I always had on VHS were from the Christmas special.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't get me wrong. Like, again, their voices are like, but I just love that lineup of villains in the Christmas special.
I love
the Collector.
It too. I love the panty shop, but the voices of Spikor and Too Bad, like, oh god.
Evelyn, bring here, watch it, Motormouth.
Oh
Enough
god.
Too Bad. Oh god.
And that was something too. I didn't get to see. I remember seeing the commercial for it on the USA Network, and I wouldn't get to see it till 11th grade. And talk about another disappointing of like, oh my god, what's wrong with their voices? It was just, and then Skeletor being betrayed with this shitty dialogue. I'm like, I mean, if I had seen it when I was 5 years old when I first heard about it, I think I'd have a stronger, affinity for everything.
I get that.
Because it was to see Snout Spout. I'm like, he's in the cartoon also, and just again,
George Chenzo again. Oh, thank you, Princess.
See, I always thought that was Alan Oppenheimer doing it at high pitch.
No, don't blame Oppenheimer for everything.
Well, I got a lot to blame him for.
I can't write all that.
I can't write all that. Old motherfucker.
Well, speaking of
destruction to the very end.
Well, speaking of sadness, poor Sego here. Look, I felt like Sego didn't want to be frozen for 200.
I think he would have much rather slept in the tomb with Valtira, but I don't.
Who wouldn't? Am I right?
Yeah.
But based on our Cobbar spider webs here, the time.
Here we go. Yeah. Time has passed.
It's a nice little bit of exposition setting up the episode, and it's just a great little flashback setting up these characters. A lot of mystery behind them, and it's just again adds to the test of like how beloved these characters really are in just this one episode.
Yeah. It's amazing when you look at the cast for this. Just really, Adam He-Man, Teela, Tyran and Valtira, and Sego, and some horses. But do you know what I mean? It's not like, oh, and there's little Orko, or this character or that character or this additional character. The only one that always disappoints me, and we'll get into it like when he appears, is the old robotic spider. Just because in the storyboards he's like a big.
Supposed to be a real spider.
It's like a huge tarantula. It looks like an awesome. And then in the episode, it's like, and don't get me wrong, I enjoy it, but it is kind of like.
I can see that because I used to wonder like if that was supposed to be a real spider, and obviously they swap it out, for something mechanical, I guess for.
I would have preferred the spider Slush, who we see in the Region of Ice, and then later in Battle of the Dragons. That kind of, like, that's a vicious looking creature. It's like that would have been great to see that by Lord Tyran's side. But and we get the glimpses. this is where, like, I will say this, like, as much as I love this episode, the only thing for me that kind of loses a point or two are the visuals. Again, it doesn't help that I've seen the storyboards, but also because I know around this time what Filmation are capable of. And there's certain shots in this where it's like, man, you really should be using shadows, because he's supposed to, right here, you know, it's, well, you assume it's Turan, but he's supposed to be in shadow, like that.
Right there. Like this. Yeah.
That is a great shot. Like when we did the Return of Faker, we used like that background, because I was like, I just love that shot. The way the kind of moon is just about there with the cloud above it, but you can create all this like depth with it, and that is like a wonderful shot. It really is. So it's like, why does the reverse shot? Yeah, of course, the moonlight would be bombarding him, so he would be lit.
Yeah.
If you want to create this look of like, oh, he's in the thing, I would have preferred that shot from the back to be like shrouded in darkness to some degree.
Or they should have waited a little bit longer to fully reveal.
Yeah.
And again, or even like show just his feet in darkness, and then you cut to this shot here to like hopefully the viewers like, I recognize that voice. That's got to be Lord Turan.
Yeah, it's that guy again. Yeah, like when you look at the storyboards, they really go in for, Don Manuel really goes in for like setting the tone. Yeah, and it's like I say, I still love this episode. That, you know, there's a reason I own like a load of animation art from it, because it's just, even though, like I say, it lacks visuals in some ways, like in that's a gorgeous shot of Sego with the I think those shadows are actually painted onto the cell, because they would do the shadows two ways. You would do it in camera, where you would create the mats and then, you know, expose the film, or you would paint shadows on top. The problem by painting shadows on top is that the cells are more easily damaged. And the thing that will break your heart upon hearing this, Shadow of Skeletor, when Man-E-Face is exposed by Skeletor.
I know the shot, which is one of the most glorious
Skeletor and Beastman on top of that cliff. I saw that in the animation art warehouse, and it was fucking trashed. And I was just like, oh. Someone had just taken it apart from a cell, and it was just like all the shadow had chipped away, and I was like, oh well, you know.
Yeah, I kind of often wonder like how much stuff was damaged along the way, because they weren't thinking we had to preserve absolutely everything. They're just trying to get the job done.
They weren't, but at the same time, a lot was preserved really well in terms of, when I first stumbled upon that, it's crazy when I think about it now. When I first stumbled upon those boxes, or when Lee did a couple of years prior, it was only like within 10 years of Filmation closing down. Filmation closed down in 89. Lee gets in the warehouse in 99. That's a 10-year gap. So at that point, he's going through the boxes and going, oh, problem with power cells, like the cherry picking because he can. And it's that thing of, they were in really good condition. But when I got to the warehouse in 2001, that's when it was in the, I don't disparage the dead, because the guy who used to run the warehouse sadly passed away many, many years ago. And he really was just about making that buck, you know, which as a business makes all the sense in the world. But the way, I remember going in, first time I'm in Los Angeles, August 2001, and the heat, it's boiling, and we're in this warehouse, and stacks and stacks and stacks of cells are all next to this garage door that's up, and the sun's just cooking all these cells. So sometimes when people go like, why is my cell not? And it's just like, because it was cooked in the sun in 2001, you know, simple as that. I was fortunate, because a lot of the episodes I was going for, like Chakotay, no one had like when I opened the Chakotay box, it was like, it's just like, oh, I've broken the seal, like, oh, it was yeah, it was I did make that. I did make that. No, Tyler's not wrong. I was like, yeah. I did a LL Cool J. I did the. Here we go. I did the. Yeah. And
just Tyler over there getting turned on by animation.
I would look at like Hannibal Lecter.
That's the sound I was making, but in another way. So when I was looking at these boxes, yeah,
you guys are weird.
I know, but yeah, it was astonishing to see this stuff, you know, still in very good condition. You know, the stuff that was cooked, you were like, oh, Tyler would be happy. I did see a couple of panning shots. I still remember to this day being cooked by the sun from One for All. So tying back to what we've been talking about, I was just like, oh, there's.
Yeah, I just like kicked it off to the side and like
the pirates. The pirates were cooking, but yeah, it's really lovely, this episode. Like I say, in terms of I suppose I haven't really talked about like the character designs of Tyran and Volterra, and we'll get into that like post show as well. So striking, so striking.
Yeah,
absolutely. And I always thought she was a beautiful woman too. Like as a child, like watching, like, oh my gosh, she's so hot, and I was like so hoping that she's going to leave Tyran permanently, and just it's like, fuck Tila too, get with her. You know, I always wanted Adam and He-Man to hook up with her. I was just all about her as a child.
When we get to, I'm sure like Nathan will have a nice shot of Valkyria, and I just want to get to something about her character design. But this is the only time in the series, if I remember rightly, that we see a winged horse.
Yeah.
We see a unicorn in the Huntsman and a winged horse in this episode, and it wouldn't be till She-Ra that the two become one.
I was all about that too, because I had seen, I think, Clash of the Titans somewhere around time too. So to see flying horses in He-Man was like, oh my god, this makes perfect sense because like Pegasus.
It's fucking amazing when you look back at He-Man. Like obviously, so many of the people that worked in that show loved Harryhausen stuff, but when you think we had like winged horses, we had giant stone statues. It's just like so much.
We had a Kraken. You know,
a Kraken. You know, I know it wasn't your cup of tea, but
no, because he got a beak.
He's a great Kraken.
I don't know why you think it's a great Kraken. He's great up until the head. It's a great body with a chicken head.
Everyone needs a chicken head, all right? Chicken head, it's fine.
It doesn't work.
Shut up, boo boo head.
God.
So here's Valterra, like, looking at her beauty. I like the fact she does still have a, what do they call those? A compact mirror.
Like a compact mirror.
Like this, ready? Ooh,
yeah.
There you go.
Oh, hang on, James Walker making sure his hair is well coiffed.
Yeah. He was primping before the show.
No, you're damn right I was.
I love the shot of her legs, and she just has a very striking outfit altogether. I mean, a very revealing outfit.
Like one of the cells when I remember going to the warehouse that I wanted, but I didn't find it I found it in a stack of random cells. So I was very fortunate. Is her doing the arms raised and then arms by her side. It's such a great I was just like, oh, I love that shot. I think when we did the episode review website, I got like all the images from that sequence because it's great. But her character design, it fascinates me because it doesn't fly in the face of what Filmation did, because Filmation were always known for making very attractive women. Look at Princess Aura.
I was going to say, look at Flash Gordon. My God,
Flash Gordon is full of them, and like Flash Gordon was getting hit on quite a bit by like anyone.
That shot inside Maine's castle with all the women he's got. Oh my God, man! Like I'm like, bravo, Filmation.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, but with her character design, like Nathan, have you got one of her in the next shot at all? Like, is she popping up? Next one?
Maybe.
Go on.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, that's
so her character design is like, it's I've always called her like, and it is crazy when you look at the comparison. She's Jessica Rabbit about 3 years before Jessica Rabbit's designed. Jessica Rabbit was, funny enough, designed by a guy called Dave Russell, who was a storyboard, one of the initial designs, storyboard artist, who was a storyboard artist at Filmation as well. But her design, where my favorite aspect of her costume is the straps that hang off her shoulders. I was just like, that's such an interesting choice, like to have the straps around here.
Yeah.
And like she's got the necklace and the medallion. She shows a lot of thigh, to the point where in an earlier shot when she's laying down in the thing, they accidentally paint her thigh as her robe, probably because they thought she's showing a lot of thigh, or they thought that can't be a thigh, this girl's she's thick. THICK, no, THICC. There you go.
Well, I mean, just even the detail here, like in her armpit, putting the
a lot of muscle definition. Like she's a very fit woman.
It's quite funny because
she's
supposed to be like, kind of, the whole thing is she's supposed to be what? I'm not going to say ugly, but she's supposed to be like, oh, she's bad now, so she's got evil eyebrows. They just kind of make her look sexy.
Which I thought she was kind of intimidating in that shot when she does that as a child. I was like, she's kind of creepy now. And then of course when Sego's looking at her real sad, it just kind of intensified like my reaction to her as a child. Like, oh boy, she's hot, but she's kind of putting me off a little bit here just because of that look on her face.
Oh yeah, because in the episode, Volterra has a thing about the winged horses.
Yeah,
and I kind of like that because it's like a little bit of, again, showing her love she loves Sego.
She likes animals. She likes
animals. She's like, it's that thing of even though we're going to see her be quite mean and a bit of a monster, well, a bit of a bully, let's say, she's got aspects which, like, oh no, but she is inherently good, or there is goodness in her. And I feel
like you could have people that are power hungry, that have qualities that sound like, okay, they can't be all that bad if they care for animals, but they still can be just real assholes. And and of course, I mean, that their extent of them being assholes is just that they destroy trees essentially. But I just feel like that they I don't know, I still feel like there's something to them that, you know, I can't just let it go. I've always just thought that they lived a life that was just not what it would have been frowned upon, I guess is what I should say. I mean, they just, I don't know. I can't shake that idea that they really were bad people. We don't know to what extent, but I feel like James is making points that are like, yeah, it's not really defined, but I think just because of how they're all about themselves, that they couldn't have been great rulers of their particular area on Eternia.
No, I think there's definitely there's a history there of initially good people, but then kind of corrupted by power, which we see, and then obviously the vanity of like, we need to look young and healthy as we once did, so let's sleep for 200 years. They even says, doesn't he? He goes, and the world will forget about
how wicked we were.
How wicked we
clearly,
were.
They were, you know. And I'm thinking like too, at some point they had to realize, oh my God, we're both getting older, so they're worrying about their looks. So they have to get those medallions, you know, for some, and then obviously learn how to absorb energy from trees.
Yeah.
So at some point, when do they decide to start taking on these you know, magical powers and learning to develop, you know, how to absorb energy from trees?
And I think their wickedness that they want the world to forget is almost like when Tyrann makes that statement, it sounds like it wasn't something they did intentionally. Do you know what I mean? It's like the world forgets how wicked we were. If they were truly evil, they'd be like, we don't give a shit. It's like, no, we actually want the world to forget, because they want to come back to the world and be like, hey, we're, you know, I feel that it's not, we're going to come back and then we're going to be evil again. I feel like we got to a point where power corrupts, and it's like, we need to chill. We need to chill out for a bit, come back, and, you know, when the world's going like, oh, these two seem nice.
Because then I feel like then that's probably why there's no one around. Like, you kind of get the idea that like there's no one else living in that castle. There's no one else living in the surrounding area of the castle. It's like they ran off anybody that would have lived within the vicinity. Not to mention there's no trees around.
I just did a fanfic in my mind. You find out that this area is right next to the Widget's fortress, and then you get another episode where Squidge is like, oh, when Valtira and Tyrann committed genocide to the Widgets. It's like, oh my God, what?
I mean, you never know.
And that could be all out of like, in their mind, they think they're doing something really good, as opposed to thinking like, no, you wiped out an entire community.
You wiped out 95% of the Widgets, and all that's left, Laura is the only one left. Lara is the only one female left. Look what you did.
Yeah, I mean, so she's like all the male Widgets are fighting for her affections, you know, and she's like, man, she's got to worry about, you know, helping procreate the population of the Widgets.
Yeah.
She's like Smurfette. She's
she is like
she's the only pair of legs in town.
Oh man.
I guess here one of the lighter moments of the episode, of course, Adam not being able to properly ride the winged horse gets thrown off, and that's where he crosses paths.
And I love her interaction that she's drawn to Adam, and the shot when she like, you know, says he reminds me of Lord Tyrann Haysego, and he like kind of leans forward. And
he leans in. Yeah,
it's just a nice little bit of animation. Thinking like, what is he thinking? You know, because in my mind, it's an evil look. He's giving Adam in this kind of like devious look, like I don't like him.
Yeah, there is something about that. Yeah. And then she's quick to be like, right, you're in my power now.
Well, and that's kind of going back to what you guys were discussing 200 years ago. How are they using these powers on others to do their bidding too?
And then it makes me wonder then too. I love how we're breaking this thing down. Like no preconceived notion, just going off the cuff here. And Tyrann immediately, you know, of course, this is all here out in the open, the jealousy aspect, but. If this is how they made slaves, I'm certain Adam's not the first man she is approached and made her slave. And I'm thinking Turan probably did the same thing with women.
Yeah.
And vice versa. I'm sure he had male slaves for certain things and female slaves, but he's immediately just taken aback that he sees his wife in 200 years and she's already talking to another man. You would think he'd be used to that because he's so vain in himself. It's like, you know what? Other women want me. It's no big deal. But he is just, it's almost like this. And we don't know how long he's been out of the tomb. It's never quite said.
That's actually a good point. Because, when Valtera wakes, she's like, we must find him because he's already awoken.
I have no idea. It sounds like he has been, obviously, he's found the mechanical, spider. He's got a hold of that somehow. We don't know how.
Yeah, I mean, I guess thinking about that, like where, obviously they've probably had this spider 200 years ago, and it's not like he just stumbles across them.
That's the thing. I don't mind them. I just want to be clear. The reason I don't like it isn't the fact that it's mechanical, because I can buy into, Eternia has, from what my understanding, has always been a world of magic and science, right? So that's to me is, science has gone leaps and bounds in recent centuries, but I can buy into the fact that there was probably ships and stuff back then and mechanical things. But I think I just prefer him when you see the storyboards, which he looks very different in the storyboards, but he's got a giant kind of tarantula creature. It's like, that kind of looks better than, and I think it doesn't help that when it moves, it makes those kind of like robotic, like who's the maid from the Jetsons?
Rosie the robot.
Rosie the robot. It's almost like the same sound effects. Like, it's like, oh, what is
I
going
guess
on
I don't
here?
mind it because I've been so used to. I've always thought it's such an imposing creature, and I guess I just look at it as like, you know what, technology is all around. He has probably left the kingdom to like look for assistance and help.
So you buy into the idea that he just stumbled across. I guess
or
it makes more sense.
Or just found someone. Maybe he talked to Trapjaw about making a mechanical spider. Like I need because Trapjaw does that kind of. Like, he has those spiders in House Shakoti.
Do you know what? It's a crying shame that Classics never did a figure of that spider, because we would have got a bio for him.
Oh yeah, and
then we would know.
Gary.
Yeah. Gary the spider.
From the House of Asshole.
I love a precursor. I always like this scene of Teela on, because it's like, precursor to She-Ra.
Yeah.
Although I think, unless I'm looking at this wrong, I feel like her legs should be the other side of the wings.
Yeah, the wing should be in front of her legs and not behind.
Yeah, I'm going by She-Ra logic, obviously.
Yeah.
You've frozen me with your spell, Valtera.
No. Why?
It's like that, for some reason, that delivery sticks in my mind.
And it's like, you are to be my slave, and until you accept me as your master, you should remain frozen. And just like Turan's like, man, son of a bitch. Like,
he's just standing up there in the shadows. Son of a bitch.
And I guess I could sympathize, because if this guy comes out, he could have been doing this stuff maybe for 10, 20 years all by himself.
And he's doing it for her.
Yeah,
when she wakes, he's like, look what I've done.
He comes back to the castle and sees she's talking to another man. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So because he is so vain and stuck on himself and insecure about that, I find it fascinating that this man is like, quickly ready to start abusing his wife.
Well, I think as well, it's obviously the bond they have. It's not just. It's like they go. They obviously have this. They've been alive for goodness knows how many years. They sleep 200, and it's that thing of there's an inherent bond that's maybe not explicitly stated. It's like, he's gonna be bent out of shape when he awakens, and she's like, what's she up to? Although you could question like how she's now in front of him, kind of thing. It's like I would have thought he would have seen her come out and be like, oh, there she is. But anyway, and the spider goes after
like Turan's like, he's ready to commit animal cruelty and wife abuse. Like he's going full fledged redneck trailer trash. But like I'm not doing this. Like
he just walks out and he's wearing a white tank top,
white tank top and a beer in his hand.
Yeah. When I first saw this episode, I didn't see it the first time round. I think I've spoke before. The UK episodes were only ever shown on TV twice. I missed this the first time round. Randomly, the second time it was shown, if I remember rightly, it was like one of the last episodes ever shown of the series. It was almost like they ran the second season, up until whatever it was, early '88, and then this was one of the last episodes they showed in that 4:20 time slot. Because I remember this episode thinking like, this must be in season 2, not realizing it was actually a season 1 episode. And the two things I remember from this episode more than anything, to the point where when I first got online, I said, "Does anyone know what this episode is?" And I said, I remember I described it as man. I think I described him as a wolf man, and you'll understand why. I said wolf man kind of clenches his fist and howls at the moon and the lightning. At the end of Act 1. The reason I kept thinking it was a wolf is because of you hear the howling of like a wolf in the distance. But the other scene I remembered was this, and I remember Adam's line of like, was it the lengths I'll go to save somebody's pet, and he just jumps into the bush, and for some reason that stuck with me for like 10 years until I finally saw the episode. I was like, I love that line, because it's one of those moments where Adam's like, yeah, I've reduced myself to coward again in order to the lengths I'll go to save somebody's pet. I'm going to transform into He-Man, use the power of Grayskull just to save a pet. It's like that.
But I love that about his character. Yeah. That he is willing to like go all out, because I think all of us would agree we'd love to save an animal if it was in trouble. Like,
yeah, of course.
And if you could do it in that kind of fashion, fuck yeah.
And I think I just love that moment, because it's almost like a brief moment of reflection where Adam's almost like watching the series, going, "What am I doing?"
Yeah.
it's
like, I only do this for major emergencies, but you know what? I guess I got to do what I got to do here.
Yeah. All that's missing is him just looking directly at us as we're watching it and breaking the
fourth wall. And winking at the camera. Yeah.
And
he's done that before. So
I love that when he comes out and all she says, "Will you save my pet?" and he's starting to think, "Oh, well, I guess she's not as selfish as I thought."
Yeah, so he says,
I love that. John Irwin's delivery of that. It's just, and he just goes into full alpha male mode here. Saving Sego, cuts him free, and then catches him before Sego. And of course, he could fly, you'd think, but it's a nice little moment where Sego's he's scared at the moment,
struggling.
Not thinking.
Yeah,
and He-Man just catches him. All right, Sego, let's get out of here.
Yeah, it seems weird as well. Like the spider, I understand it's not the worst thing, but it just looks weird where it's almost like he's sneezing the web.
Yeah.
Just like.
But
I guess they probably didn't want it like coming out.
Where else could it? Yeah, it kind of has to go out there. But this shot is interesting. I don't know if you've got the close up, but you get like a slightly closer shot, which I've actually got the line art to, which we'll show at the end. And they illustrate Valtira, but with his handsome design. So they accidentally give him his normal design, but they have to paint him green with the white hair. But if you look at the character face, it's his handsome self from 200 years before.
Are you talking about right?
Yeah,
right
there.
Yeah,
that's actually.
I remember seeing that as a kid. I just kind of rolled with it. Like, I just thought, like, that's just. They don't have room to go into full details, like where his lip is kind of like decayed, like right here.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at that, it's blatantly the heroic version they've illustrated. But it's not, again, it's not the worst thing though. It's not like, how dare they do that? But when I got the line art, I was like, ooh.
So this is why you need to make a YouTube channel saying why Filmation is just lame and stupid.
Yeah, you lame. I always love my favorite. I've talked about it before. The amount of people when there's not the amount of people when every once in a while I get the animation's so cheap. I'm like, just remember, Filmation spent more on a single episode of animation in the 1980s than any other studio. And then you have to explain to me, but why?
They don't have time for that. They got to get them likes and then clicks and subscriptions. Yeah. Fuck off.
It's like, learn about outsourcing, you ignorant fool. And then He-Man ends up in the bush as well.
Yeah, and I love his interaction with he's like, what can you do from up there? And I wish I had an ass after they collapsed.
Yes, that's good. That's a little bit of He-Man's inner dialogue humor kind of thing coming out.
And I love, and I've mentioned before, I love this picture, like during this sequence, like Moss Man's like around, and here's He-Man say, "Hey, I don't like people who destroy trees," and I think it's just a great little,
Moss Man's like, I like this guy.
Yeah, all right. Yeah.
Shall I help him? Well, not for another 2 years. But
I'll just sit back and watch. Because it would make sense for Mossman to be an adversary of this couple, since they are about destroying trees.
Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to do, unfortunately, they're made good at the end. It's like the Dragoon problem. It's like when you kind of turn the character good at the end. Same with Kothos. It's like you kind of can't go back on that. It's a bit of a stretch.
But it would have been nice, and I love this close-up shot. Like,
you don't know me then?
Beautiful. What's that?
He goes, "You don't know me then?"
Oh,
when the illustration of this is, I've got the cell of that, and it's like they drew the entire head, but just the head, no neck or anything, because they knew they were going to do it in close-up. But it's just really random. It's just like, it looks like a mask you could just put on.
I wish they'd shown a close-up of his mouth, because in certain shots,
he's got
like his mouth
mangled teeth.
Like,
he's got his British teeth. Yeah. All right, governor. Fish and chips. Oh.
Don't need to be wearing no masks around here. We get the same reused shot.
I always loved
He-Man.
when He-Man would swing the grappling hook rope. I just thought it was such a cool animation when he would click the bottom of the grapple and the hooks would come out. Like, so cool.
I don't think I had a close up of that image, but that was one of the things that stuck out to me both times when he's using that. Is they make a point to show you the close up of it sprawling out and
standing out. Yeah, I always think of that in Return of Orko's uncle when he used it to grapple Karg down.
The weirdest one of those is in Horde Prime Takes a Holiday when he's got a grappling rope with unlimited length, and it's like, how does that even work, He-Man? I mean, we're questioning
a lot of logic.
I mean, come on, Man at Arms probably did something when he was making his ship.
Shit stain remover. Yeah.
In fairness, it's from the Sorceress. He says like, this was a gift from the Sorceress. It's got it's a hook with unlimited length, and it's like, okay.
All right, now I have to ask James because he did a video on this a while back.
Oh yeah. We'll come back to this later.
I don't quite buy the fact that he cops a feel here. I just don't.
Well, I mean, like again, we'll talk about at the end of the video because you have to look at the frames either side of it and why.
I watched that video. I'm like, I don't see it.
Okay.
Yeah, you will see later.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. Then I'll cop a feel of you, big man. Right, here we go. So He-Man lands with Valtira in his clutches. I like that shot because you can see this. Her kind of pissed off look is kind of now.
Yeah, it's gone.
It's like, oh, she's still got her evil eyebrows, which are, let's be honest, quite sexy. And she's just like, my pet has returned, Jessica Rabbit style.
And Tyrion's like, yeah, she's already forgotten all about me, that bitch.
I love his dialogue at the end of Act 1. He's like, soon you and I and your handsome rescuer.
Just does that. Oh, it's so cool.
So yeah, that was the end of Act 1, and now we're in Act 2 in the castle that time forgot. Look at that.
I always like that too, of Sago like really warming up to He-Man, just like a puppy or a dog would.
But like, I mean, I like I say, the visuals for this episode, the only thing but there are lots of good ones. I just keep thinking, my God, if this was like a season 2 episode where they have that kind of level of craftsmanship you see in The Cat and the Spider. Oh, there are so many episodes from season 1. I always think like if that had that season 2 flair to it, like Disappearing Dragons, those episodes where they kind of render certain shots, far better. It's like this would have been killer episode. But yeah, is Teela now in the castle? Do you know one of the most? We'll get to it actually. I won't jump to it just yet. We'll get there. So yeah, Teela finds the tombs. Oh, they're empty. That means
I always thought that was an intimidating shot as a kid too. I was like, oh my God, he's back there, like watching her.
Just watching. I understand this scene coming up. It is weird though, with like the dragon just sort of like, all right. It's just again, I want a classics bio for the dragon. Frank, the dragon of
Frank the dragon, also from the House of Asshole, and surrounded by assholes here. That throne room too, like obviously they had to have had people to come, and
they would have had people like there's because that's the thing, isn't it? When we get that flashback, there's no way you get rulers that live in these crazy castles by themselves, but this, like you say, this is built as a place of worship almost. So it's like there are thrones. This is like a throne room at the royal palace where you get the thrones with the ascending staircase. There's people that were brought to them or came to them, kind of thing. The dragon
There's so much in this episode of just here's a character in the shadows watching from afar or just lurking around.
Which was an oh shit moment for me as a kid. Like, oh my God.
Nice design. They never reuse this dragon model either, which is really weird because it's a really lovely design.
Mm-hmm. It does look really good. I always thought it was an imposing character. It's like a snake dragon to me. That's how I always viewed it. The Filmation would do that. They would combine like different animals, like a chicken and a sea monster.
I always like the razor fins from Search the VHO and Dawn of Dragoon. The kind of snake creature with
that. Which they would reuse that in a few episodes too, like BC Sideshow.
And oh my goodness, to save the creatures, I think they turn up in that as well as. Those are different snakes. So here's He-Man wrestling with a big old snake.
And saying
that tickles.
Yeah, that blew my mind. Like that tickles him. Like, oh my God. Like
He doesn't care. He's like, yeah, I'm not going to. And again, this is where we see He-Man doing this kind of cause and effect fighting, which I really love in this scene, because like, you know, you got the certain grouping of fans that like chop his head off, He-Man. It's like, well, then he's not He-Man, is it? He's some other character.
James needs to say that and say, "Go on in,
go on in, go on in, man."
Chop his head off, man. Go on, go on in.
Dragon's like, go on in. He-Man's like, no.
He-Man with the cravat slings the dragon, looks up, notices the drapery here.
Yeah, it's cursed for this character. I mean, that's a cool shot. I love that. That's bad.
It's always a great sequence.
Yeah.
And
people want to shit on this. Like, you don't get the character's not out to kill people and take lives all the time. You know, it's just.
I love that the expression that he does the thing and then he kind of looks down as he drops it, as he smiles. It's just like,
Sego likes that. Yeah.
Little Christy Brinkley watching her husband Billy Joel perform right there with the claps.
I really like Sego in this episode. He's kind of like there's something about the character. It's like they could have easily made him like
evil too, or
I think that the strength that I've never really thought about, but for a side character, he sure gets a lot of cutaways just to himself. When you think about it, he gets so many reaction shots where he could have just been like on her shoulder, and it's just
they could have made him really obnoxious. Like, he makes a lot of weird noises and stuff, and he's not at all. Like, I loved him as a kid. I loved him even more as an adult. I would love to have seen more use of the character, and he is treated just like a dog would. You know, I feel like, you know, just his way of like kind of almost like he sides with Valkyrie and Turan, and then like he sees what He-Man's doing, he's really taken aback and loves that He-Man's not out to hurt anybody. He's just trying to help.
I think Sego is through the narrative. Sego is the goodness of Turan and Valkyrie. It's like he's there, and it's like these people that cared for him are capable of that love. It's just like they have to rediscover it, as they do by the end of the episode. But it's I never really thought about Sego's, the amount of cutaways we get to the character. It's like they really do. They do kind of celebrate that character,
and they use them so flawlessly. The motions in his face, like when he's shaking in He-Man's arms, like because he's scared of Turan, like he emotes so much and tells so much in this story.
It's funny, like, you know, we were talking there, like he's applauding He-Man. You can't have Valkyrie applauding him because that kind of betrays her character, who's who's still supposed to be somewhat aloof, even though she sees the goodness in He-Man and you see the goodness in her. But it's like that, if she's suddenly applauding, it doesn't work. So you have Sego in to kind of do those reactions.
I mean, it would work if like she just continues to be taken aback by what he can do. Like, oh my God, like she's getting worked up and hot and bothered, and you got to put a wet floor sign out soon enough. You know, just getting, you know.
We saw Teela earlier investigating the castle. We hear her in the distance.
Yeah,
can't quite pinpoint where she is. Of course. Let me go back here. This is blocking the path.
Yeah,
it's like, we can clear this out, and He-Man puts a stop to that.
And I love He-Man's like, and bring that cold castle crashing down on us, and that panning shot, just looking at how much has grown in the castle.
Yeah,
you know, like right there. That looks like almost like a massive beanstalk that's just grown inside the castle, right?
And a bit of foreshadowing too.
Yeah.
So I was about to talk when we saw the previous shot of Teela when she was entering the castle. I used to own the line art for this, or maybe the layout illustration. When I sold this on eBay, it went for like a lot of money. Unsurprisingly, Teela, like bound, it was just like those fans.
How much, James? How much did you get for this?
I don't know. I think I paid like $5. I think I got like 100 for it or something.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah,
nice.
Good
return. Someone's gonna do something twisted and weird.
That's the only thing. Like, I could get onto that.
When people wanted to, like, fucked up fanboys wanted to pick characters from these cartoons in like the most ridiculous, overly sexual ways.
I mean, Tyler, think about it. It's, I mean, you've mentioned it plenty of times along the way about how hot these women were. You wanted He-Man to get with these women. I mean, like, you're just looking at it like this. They're taking that mentality and going like next level. They're
going way ridiculous with it though. Like to the point where it's like this is almost like like the Disney porn you'd see back in the day.
Oh my god! In the
just
early
like
days,
silly stupid shit.
In the early days of the He-Man and She-Ra community, oh god, I wonder if it's out there somewhere. Someone did a fanfic. My friend Lee Clevenger in America still brings this up to this day, and we can wet ourselves laughing talking about it. Where this person wrote this erotic fanfic, and it got derided when this person wrote it and put it out there on. This was like before the forums. I think it was on the days of the mailing list, but it ended up on like a website or two, and it was so like cringy. But one of them was about. I can't really say certain words because we don't want this to get shut down, but basically Hordak. Go on in. No, Hordak had his way with Adora, right? Without her consent.
God.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
And in the thing, Adora's saying, those hips, those metallic hips. It's just like,
what?
That's me and Lee when we just think about it, it's like those hips, those metallic hips. It's like someone wrote that and was like, that was them getting their rocks off of like, I'm going to write this fanfic and it's going to be in a rock. And there was another one called Infamous. I don't know if it was the same one I think it was called The Darkest Grey Skull, and it was just absurd. It was just like people, you just kind of saw extracts and was like, this is yeah.
I imagine it's just like an orgy in Grayskull or some shit like that.
It was just people like. Yeah, just clearly frustrated. And they would have been probably in their late teens, early 20s, you know.
I'll let you know if Netflix reaches out to us to try to track down It's like, can you find those? We need that to make new stories.
We've run out of ideas.
Well, they ran out of ideas a long time ago.
That is a really good shot as well.
Yeah,
it was like the way Teela's band, like Tyran's kind of just stood there, like, yeah, you be mine now. But it's all about prisoners. Oh, yeah, and so we get to see. I suppose this is where we see Tyran possibly for not for the first time. Like, as in, Valtira finally recognizes him, right? Because she's like, you are Tyran.
Yes. I think you prefer him rather than me.
Yeah, he does this whole speech. I love his speech where he's like,
I love it. She calls him. It's the ugly one again, and ugly indeed.
Oh, that's a good impression. Yeah, I'm only ugly because he talks about like he made these sacrifices, and I think he says he looks like this because he was still absorbing the power, wasn't he? He was still trying
his
to.
Body. Yeah, it just
warped his body.
Like, much like how sometimes you would see in fantasy stores, like wizards would use magic, but it would just drain and age them like intensely. Yeah.
That's a great shot of the
spider.
Forgot about
the spider you've been shitting on the whole time.
Yeah, that's a good shot of it. I mean, it's still going to go.
I love that because that was on the VHS.
That's the VHS.
I always get excited to see that shot of He-Man struggling with the spider web. Like that's just awesome.
It cracks me up there because he just kind of flings through scene, doesn't he? He goes like straight across.
Into another, and I just watching him struggle and just snap it, and it just shows how strong the spider because it tears like the
castle, like the. But the other thing about it is, as he's struggling, she's giving the speech, and I really like that, where it's like rather than her delivering a speech and everybody just standing around, He-Man's struggling to break free, and it's and her speech is really good because she's just like, we need to change our ways. We should have, but we haven't. And it's like it's not what more slaves. I think she says like it's not more slaves, but friends. It's like there we go.
And it feels organic because sometimes, not in He-Man, but just people can really force feed these ideas.
He-Man was guilty of that in some cases. Like we'd be silly to not admit that. There were certain episodes where you're just like, we kind of get it. You don't need to like hit us over the head. I think that happened with She-Ra a few more times than He-Man, I'd say, where they kind of really pushed the. It's like, no, we get it. We're not completely silly, but for the most part, they often kind of had that as like the underlying narrative.
I guess I feel like for most of the time, like most of them, which I think James has shit on this episode, which I always like, Damar the Demon, and I still look at that face. You should be ashamed of yourself.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
But that might be a prime example what James is like. Yeah, this is like beating you over the head at 4 out of 10. With like hey,
Brett knows where it's at.
That you made a friend, and I'm like, I always thought it was cool. I always enjoyed it, and I guess that might be an example where James thinks, this is trying too hard to sit there and say like you made a friend, and that's what's important. That kind of thing.
Look how happy the spider looks.
Look at James. Is just like he's zapped of all like.
I was just
right
like,
now.
oh
just
man.
like
I was just remembering all the things about Damar. Just like, yeah.
What does that mean?
Just leave it there, man. Just leave it there.
No. I've never really got to like throw down the gauntlet with you over that episode.
I don't know. Read my review. I wrote a book about it.
I know your review.
Well, how about this?
How
about this? We'll put a cap on Damar the Demon. We'll get through this. We'll read James's review from the book of Sleepers Awaken, then we'll read the Damar the Demon.
Yeah, there we go. That's easy.
And then we'll get into
that. At some point in the near future, we'll have to do like a Damar the Demon discussion.
Yeah, okay. Damar the Demon, like round one. It's like Damar the Demon.
Yeah, I'm like Street Fighter music here, like fight. Yeah, I still stand by like. It has flaws in it, but I still feel like it's a pretty good episode though. I don't look at it as like.
I was trying to hold my face there.
All right, eat shit, James.
Fred, right. Fred or Frank the spider? What have we named the spider? Frank?
Yeah,
arachnid or something like that.
Frank was the snake. The spider was Tyler.
Gary.
Gary the
spider, yeah, from the House of Assel.
Get him.
Yeah.
Big whiff right here, misses.
I just think it's a cool looking spider though. Like I like the design.
I like the design. I think it would be like, imagine who would be a good villain. This Lord Mask, would that be a good one to have by his side if it was like shades of grey and stuff?
It would have to be colored differently to be standing next to Mask.
Yeah.
I feel like you get away with like a Negator. I think
Negator,
cool.
yes. Yeah. I was just about to say Negator. Yeah,
Negator would have been an excellent option for
especially
just recycling that model and just putting it next to him or something like that.
Especially since he had used a robot spider in Trouble's middle name, it became like his robot spider base of operations. If he had that guy with him, it all kind of adds up.
Yeah, that episode sucks.
Trouble's middle name.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah. Fucking awful.
What a fall from grace of like such a great first episode of Negator, and then you turn to like, what the fuck, man? Like,
bear in mind that was one of the last episodes. I think it was the last episode we ever managed to get in the community. We were trying to get all the episodes together.
Yeah.
128 episodes. We need 2 more. One was the Once and Future Duke, and one was Trouble's middle name. And I remember like being like, oh my God, because I remember Trouble's middle name from seeing it in the 80s. I was like, oh, there's one bit where He-Man's flying through the sky and he says, by the power of grace. I was like, that's going to be the best episode ever. And then I watched the episode. I was like, this is dog shit.
Yeah.
I'm using Tyler's review terms now. This is dog shit, man. So yeah, it's that was that.
And
here we go.
Heading towards the climax here, where he just lost. He's like, I'm gonna. He's all about destroying He-Man. Like, I'm gonna grab the biggest tree in here and just absorb it. And
I love that his line. What have I done? Destroyed was it destroyed our home or destroyed our castle? I think.
I like what he said before. He's like, you should not escape my wrath, He-Man.
Yeah,
like it's a very like strong statement.
Both DiCenzo and Linda Gary are great in as those characters.
Oh my God, yeah.
There's no moment where like the voice betrays the character or anything like that. Nope. It's just and I like the fact that even though he's like, George DiCenzo is like the evil version of Terrell, he still does the same voice. Even though it's like you think maybe in season 2 they would have said, oh, whoever did the acting for, let's say, another actor, they said, oh, give him like a craggly voice, like, oh, He-Man. It's like, no, give him that same voice. That's like that he has when he was handsome Tyrann,
Yeah. And it's such a strong voice. It's a very commanding.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
There is. It's so good. What have I done?
Yeah, it is a shame we never got these two in classics form. Like I just if maybe Super 7, got to do it a little bit more long, we would have gotten them.
Continued it.
We never see the spider actually recoils here.
Yeah.
It just goes, and you're like, I like to think that even though the castle comes down on it, it kind of escapes somehow.
Yeah. It's smart enough to realize, okay, I got to get the hell out of here. So I like to think it did make it out. This to me, this whole sequence, like from here to the minute the castle crashes, is probably my favorite because of how, like, seeing Tyrann's change and then He-Man, like his heroics of like just being the alpha male, like this right here. I used to get
poor little
so
Sega.
excited. I'm like, it's just devastating to see that, because we all relate. Like, look at his like decayed mouth, like the lips are starting to deteriorate there.
But again, it's in this moment, it's like Seago is still in there. He's like, I'll get him. And it's just like, oh, there's not even a hesitation. It's just like, oh, there's the inherent goodness. And obviously this is what they get rewarded with at the end. It's and I love this. It's like you say, Tyler, it's like such a great kind of culmination of everything towards the end of the episode that builds up to this moment.
And the music, it's the He mentioned the rescue music, which is the best music, especially for something like this.
Absolutely.
Just He-Man coming to his aid without hesitation after he just tried to kill him.
Yeah.
And just says, thanks for the help, friend. And then I love it. He-Man says, I'll meet you outside this one last rescue I want to make. I'm like, oh my God. He's like, he's going to go save the snake.
It's so good.
Yeah.
So good.
It's so cool.
Yeah. It's like, I'd love to see the original script, like whether Douglas Booth wrote that into it or Filmation said, hey, the snake. And he was like, oh, yeah, I'll have him go back and rescue him. Yeah. Because you do wonder, it's like, if you would say to someone, write this episode, the snake kind of gets defeated, and you probably, I'd say most times would forget about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's the idea that He-Man doesn't. There's these, that again, this episode is about inherent goodness, and he kind of goes like, right, I'm going to go back, save the snake. You should get another scene where Taran goes, what about the spider? And he's like, oh shit.
There's a great painting shut here of the castle. It's crumbling down and everything is shaking. And
so in I think it was 1998 or 1999 when we did like a Halloween themed week on the episode review website. And what I remember
that.
Yeah, we did 4 episodes. It was Chakotay 1 and 2, Sleepers Awaken, and my God, I'm forgetting the 4th. But yeah, I created like a little video montage, and one of the shots, as you saw all these different sequences occurring, I was almost like creating like not a pop video, but it was like lots of quick cuts and stuff. Was the castle, that panning shot of the castle like shaking? It would cut to like He-Man running, and then another shot, and then this character and that. It was like. See if I can dig out that video at some point and send it to you guys.
What's interesting in this shot, if you look, it looks like there's 4 standing shadows almost at that top peak, and then we cut to that and there's just the 3 of them, or is that just a piece of rock? To me it looks like it's supposed to be people standing
they probably illustrate 4 and then we'll just like don't. I think if you look at that background as well, just behind when the 3 of them are stood there, I'm pretty confident that's like the same shot where you see this is Cringer, my fearless friend, because this is that whole area which is used as one thing that's always confused me, even as a kid, was that the Evergreen Forest was the twisted and almost dead-looking area, and the fertile plains were the big, luscious green areas just outside the Royal Palace. It's like, that's so weird, but someone had to make a decision.
Well, there's a lot of forests and things like that. You got the Forgotten Forest.
Yeah, Forgotten Forest.
Yeah.
His face in this shot is really like his mouth is.
The mouth is basically misaligned.
Like,
it's such an easy fix, like with computers. But with that, it's like they.
It stood up to me as a kid, like to see his mouth kind of like protruding out.
It's just like
kind of.
This is when they decide they're going to destroy their medallions.
Yep, and just age naturally and not be assholes anymore.
But it's the thing. It's they believe that in order to keep their beauty, to restore their beauty, they had to absorb or sleep for 200 years, and the only thing they ever had to do was kind of not be, as Tyler would say, arseholes. They could have just been in the again, let their inherent goodness come to the surface. That's what makes them, attractive again.
Yeah. It's like, you'll be nice, you'll be hot.
That's what it is, yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, Adam, where have you been this whole time?
Yeah, and he gives a great alibi, like, well, I decided to take up horseback riding again. And,
wild horses can really buck.
And that smirk on his face, like,
oh, we'll get to that smirk. But, the conclusion to this episode is, there it is. The conclusion to this episode is, like, really sweet, though. Because it feels slightly longer drawn out than the most kind of summary bits, because it's all in one scene. It's not like now we're back at the palace, or now it's just this character over here.
It's still focusing on them. It's not like we're back.
It's like it's almost like we've all been secretly, Adam. We've all been through this shared experience, and now we're just having a little bit of a joke at the end. I really love the ending to this episode. They never would. Was it? She says like they never would let me.
It lets me touch it. What never would before. It's like, well, you're different.
Yeah, that's the great George DiCenzo impression. They're different now. What was it? What happens in this episode? We just do George Costanza impressions.
Yeah, God, he's a legend.
Goodbye, dear friends.
Yeah.
Bye.
Oh, wave. Good. What's up?
And she's talking about how someday she'll make Adam into a hero,
just
much like He-Man.
Like He-Man. Yeah, someday. Maybe. Someday. Maybe.
And then, much like James was expecting the episode to start, and we end it with...
we end it with the shot of the planet, the most ginormous mountains in the universe, which I love. Yeah. And Orko gives a moral that's more of a PSA than anything, because it doesn't tie into the episode.
And they would do that sometimes. It wasn't like woven into the story. It's just like, no, it's just flat out, hey.
They actually had, if I remember rightly, on some scripts, they had like designated kind of... set aside moral segments. So it's like, what's this episode's moral? Well, it's kind of, we've done it to death in the episode, so let's have him at the end talk about, drink milk before, is it a glass of milk or a piece of fruit is a good bedtime snack.
There we go.
Tell it
that's one I don't mind. Like some of them felt like, like there's one about, I forgot what episode it is at the moment, but where he was talking about, think safety. He's talking about driving a car and things like that.
Isn't that She-Demon of Phantos?
Yes, it's She-Demon of Phantos. Yeah.
Another reason to love the episode.
Yeah. I gotta have my day in court with him on that episode too.
Well, that was the Sleepers Awaken. Before we get into some of the bonus content that James shared for us, out of 10, Tyler, what would you give the Sleepers?
I give it a 10 out of 10. It's a perfect episode. I love it. Again, it's one of those episodes that I loved as a kid, but I appreciate even more as a teenager and adult because of how well written the four characters are, the story it's trying to tell, and just what a good guy He-Man is in this episode. Of like him, he's not out, being, he does heroic stuff in it, but he's also talking to these people and showing them, how to live better lives. And I just love how
it's more of a grounded He-Man.
It very much so. And that's what that there's so much to the character that people just don't seem to ever take time to realize and watch. And that's what makes this episode so great. Plus, Tyrion and Valkyria and Sega are some of the best one-shot characters we ever got in the series, in my opinion.
Which it is scary when you think about He-Man. 130 episodes, how many awesome one-shot characters there are when you think about it. Yeah. So how many, we're not going to do it, but you could do a endless list almost of like all the one-shot characters that was so good because the series just effortlessly brought them in, and it's, like with them, they make this one appearance and it's just like, again, I don't want to get into a whole discussion or a rant about Origins because it's so easy. Why are these not figures? Why are we getting no disrespect, but why are we getting the 40th Snake Men figure and we still don't have these characters to round about it? And people may be like, that's Filmation. It's like,
but they'll buy Filmation Grizzlor and Filmation version of this character and Filmation Ram. Like, you're okay with buying that, but you don't want to buy original characters?
I just don't get it. And we've ranted before, Malaktha, and I just don't understand the decision making of not releasing those characters. Like Classics had the excuse of we've got a certain, their tooling was more expensive, their figures were, I think, more expensive and stuff. And obviously it was kind of always a bit of a limited lifespan with Classics. I would have obviously wanted all those characters, but with Origins, it's like you're making anything, like literally anything. It's like, oh look, paper tissue man, kind of thing, or oh look, remote control, or I've come to get you, He-Man. And it's stuff like that. Just like
now they're things, all the crossover stuff. But
oh god, what? Yeah. That's stop it.
Yeah. I'm actually I'm in agreement with Tyler. I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. It's I always appreciate the episodes, and Tyler mentioned this earlier that as a kid he always wanted to seek out episodes that had Skeletor in them. But I always enjoy these episodes that don't have those usual cast of characters. Yeah, we get Tila in here, and of course you got to have He-Man, but it's just those two. There's no Orko, there's no Man-at-Arms, no Skeletor. It's its own little thing. So I always really enjoy the episodes that take a different path than what you're used to seeing, because this would be one of those episodes, I would think, if you're watching on TV all the time or catching it on USA in 1989, that you're almost conditioned to see X, Y, and Z every single episode. Yeah. So for something to pop up like this when you're watching it, it had to be pretty special. So I give it a 10 out of 10. I really enjoy it. James, do you remember what you gave this episode in your book?
I'll only go by what I kind of said throughout the episode. Like it's a pleasure to kind of watch this. This is why I was so excited to do this one. I was like, oh, this episode never gets enough love. So it's always nice to talk about it. And we've talked about all the wonderful aspects of it. I think I probably would have given it. I didn't do halves, but I would have given it. I'm gonna guess a 7 because, like, I think the story is strong. I think the setting is really strong. I think the characters are great. But like for me, the visuals really kind of let it down in numerous places. But like I say, I can understand completely 10s because it's just like, yeah, I get that. It's worthy of, when people kind of deride the series or just write it off. It's like, well, try watching this episode that doesn't have or any of that. Just watch this episode, which has really well-developed characters who've only just turned up in this episode, and yet we know more about them than we do than some characters in more recent shows. The fact that Filmation were able to craft that is astonishing. We look, and I know Tyler likes his the writer's work, but Douglas Booth always seemed to kind of deliver really quality scripts. I don't think the visuals were always on his side. Again, like
no.
Return of Orko's Uncle is like, I really enjoyed that episode, but in terms of the visuals for that, it's like, oh man, like, what? Really could have done more. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No. Orko's Favorite Uncle. That's a weak episode though, and that's on the Magician sucks.
Yeah.
Like, that's just like, the only thing cool about that as a kid is like the Talon Fighter shows up in it. That was the only thing I could pull away from that episode. Like the only thing I ever remembered about it.
I like the whole scene with the Manticore in the cave. I always thought that was good.
I didn't like it, and I still don't like it. The Manticore looks too friendly.
Yeah. Oh, he's got a very cartoony face. A Manticore.
Yeah, and it's too big. It should be.
Well, it's an Italian Manticore,
You did give it a 7 out of 10, James.
Oh, there you go.
What is the production code for Daimar the Demon? Let's get to
17.
17. Let's get into that, and I will read your review for that.
Oh, I remember most. I can't read it verbatim, but I remember.
He had it printed on.
He's
a
like,
wall.
oh, it's so sick, and he gives us a rainbow at the end, and like,
it's tattooed onto Tyler's arse, and he would look in the mirror and be like, "God damn it, Tyler, I'm taking a shit on you again."
This episode, for all its promise, fails to deliver. One of the biggest problems is the pacing. There is an urgency felt when Daimar is released from the dark dimension, but as the episode progresses, it becomes a series of random scenes tied together by the sorceress's book of magic. The incident
loosely tied together with the sorceress's book of magic. Yeah, go on.
The incidents where the heroes encounter the effects of the eerie mist almost seems pointless, and when Daimar finally appears, the urgency is all but gone. This episode also fails to convince us that Daimar and Orko formed a friendship strong enough for the demon to renounce his destiny of evil. When the sickly, sweet rainbow appears over Castle Grayskull at the end of the episode, we are less than surprised. 4 out of 10 from James.
Oh yeah, I'm generous.
I was heartbroken when I read that. What an asshole with this review here.
It's all right, Tyler.
You just wait until I finally meet this guy.
Well, someday I'm gonna get.
Oh no, Tyler. I think
whatever, kid.
Well aware knew me. We chatted numerous times. I think prior to that book ever coming out.
I don't know. We didn't have much contact. As I remember.
I did, because I remember like, unless that guy likes Daimar.
Oh, whatever. Whatever.
I'm just joking.
I don't even know if we. I think it was when Chris Vin had his podcast back.
Oh yeah, of course, Vinto.
And I got your free copy of the book that he was. It was a trivia question to answer, and I won it, and you autographed it for me.
Oh.
Yeah,
and
I still got it, and I'm like that. And I think I can't remember if I emailed you or
you wipe your ass with that signature now, don't you? You're like, God damn motherfucker.
I was gonna say. Where's it at? It's right here. I get it under the stack here. So
that's all right. So yeah, like here's some behind the scenes magic of the Sleepers Awaken. So yeah, you can just see like it's not a great level of detail, but it just shows you like the basic line art of that gorgeous pan of the background, and like.
But it really adds a lot of like scale to like, are other people living in that?
Yeah, you see the little windows and everything, and yeah, you think like, what was this place? It's huge.
It's massive. Like you got just the castle, but then you have the dragon up top.
And you think, is that related to the giant red snake lizard thing that's inside?
Yeah.
Is
or they love dragons, so that's why they have a pet Sago. Like
yeah. Imagine if, like, when you look at that statue, it's actually the Castle Sago.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be so cool, Castle Sago. And then I just love all the little details of just like, oh, what's that? And here's the interior. But like if you zoom into the statue, like pan along, but zoom into the statue that's on, all those little faces and stuff.
See, that's not really a castle where good people live.
No, it's pretty.
You just can't look at that and think like I always love those large hands that would come out of the ground, like holding something like that. That just like this says, no, these are some real nasty people that live in this place.
Let's zoom in on that statue. Let's have a look at that. That's why I did these like really big scans. Well, I used the really big scans, or I sent the really big scans to Nathan because I was like,
that kind of reminds me of the astronaut armor in the Castle Grayskull.
It does, yeah.
Like that bat motif over that entrance there, like that's just that's badass.
Yeah, zoom into the statue now. Let's have a butchers at that. I want to see. Oh, you've gone past him. Oh no, the statue. So to the right, this dude. Yeah, look at that. You think like, what's all that about? Is that like one of their guards that used to exist or something?
Yeah.
Or what the guards would wear?
Yeah. Oh god, someone at Mattel is going to see this and be like, right, we got a new figure now.
We call them Armor.
Yeah, Armor. Yeah.
But you only get this figure if you're an early bird backer on this $400 playset.
Yeah. But you got to subscribe right now. We're going to charge you in advance.
Oh god. Yeah, there you go. Look at that.
Yeah, that rocks, man. God, it's beautiful.
When you look at the color there, you can really see how, like, Jessica Rabbit, it's just it's the violet gloves, the magenta dress. It's crazy.
I love the violet touch because she wears like the violet like sleeves, and then she has like violet boots that she wears too.
Yeah, the little booties.
Yeah, and she's so imposing but stunning at the same time. Like she just not a woman you would want to cross.
And there's the old model sheet.
God, look at all them legs.
But like again, that strap off the dress, I think, is just such a wonderful touch.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like it's just hanging on for dear life.
It's very elegant.
Yeah, it's. I think Tyler, you kind of just said it there. She's like elegant, sexy, evil, but like really kind of imposing.
Yeah.
And you can do all that with this one character.
Yeah,
it's
just the talent of being creative. But
this was in the model pack. It's just a sketch that someone illustrated of like, oh, this is how she's going to be in one of the scenes. Not necessarily how it will be exactly. Obviously, when Sago jumps at her in the tomb, she's like, Sago. There's I couldn't get the lightning. Sadly, they didn't have the shadow cast thing. That was just a bit of a bummer. But it was a really lovely illustration. That if you zoom in on the face, cool. Like you can see as he was illustrating with his handsome design, handsome Dan.
Are you quoting Wayne's World 2 with that?
Yeah, I could be with the guy with Jefferson from Married with Children. God, I fucking love Jefferson.
I actually watched Wayne's World 2 about 2 weeks ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just out of spur of the moment, like, I'm in the mood for that.
Oh, look, there we go.
See that right there, it does look like it, but that's like when you're watching the animation. When you watch in your video,
when you watch the animation, but that's the point. That's the point I make is when you see the frames either side of it, his hand is completely in a different position. Also, the scary thing is, I don't know. I'm sure I said
clearly going like this. It's not going.
James even titled this 06 underscore boob underscore 01.
Because have a look at 02 and 03. Have a look at the next image, right? So that's the color one. I colored the drawing. That's not the cell. I actually did find the cell of this as well. Again, not in the folder, just random. But they made it a keyframe where his hand should be, which is like with keyframes you do extremes. It's I want him to be here and here.
All right, I recede. You're right.
When you see that, like again, I would have been I was always a bit like, it's. But when you see that keyframe, it's like no. Look where the hand is, and when you go back to the artwork, her face is like, "Hang on."
Oh yeah, it's like she's enjoying it.
She's like, "Wait a second," and he's like, "Don't mind me." But again, I think on that video on the official YouTube channel, there's the face. So again, this is the smile. Don't go to the smile yet. But when we were at the warehouse again, I'm going through the artwork with Lee, and I was like, "Oh, I found like a bunch of Sleepers Awaken." This is when the warehouse had not been gutted, but the boxes had all been gone through now to some degree. So it was just a stack of Sleepers artwork. And I found the layout, and I was like, "Oh, look at this Adam," and he was like, "Oh God, that's awful." And as I showed him, I saw the reverse, and I was like, "Oh my God!" I was like, "It's about to get worse." And he was like, "How bad can it be?" And I flipped it round, and then it's the next illustration, and he could not stop laughing. I was just like, "That drawing is amazing! It's so good." Oh dear. It's just like, I don't know what the artist was thinking. Obviously, I know what the artist is doing, but thank God in the episode they kind of kept it
comes
on model.
To life in the episode right there. It's not the best. Yeah.
Well, there it's like, so these are the storyboards, but well, not all of them, but just I chose some kind of select ones. Again, they're nice and big, so we can like zoom in. But you can see originally it was going to open with some panning shots, or a panning shot going from the night, and yeah.
I like how they wrote this out at the time.
Yeah.
Not all artists. Not all artists did. Don Manuel did for all of his storyboards. Robert Lamb did as well. Yeah, Don Manuel, Robert Lamb. They always kind of illustrated something on the top of the storyboard. But yeah, like you can see that they were going to start off with a panning shot, which is really really quite nice.
God, his storyboards are just they're without equal.
They get better, trust me. But like here, he says he did the same with Reign of the Monster as well. He says all the scenes are at night except one scene, which is a flashback scene. Exactly the same setup for Reign of the Monster. The only difference is in Reign of the Monster, when they did the flashback, they did it at night. So it's just like, interesting. But like his like the reason that's got a line for it is because they were going to do an overlay and then they decided not to. And then the scene got scrapped anyway. But you can see that was going to be like the shot we see at the start of the episode. And they decided, let's just start off with the kind of 12 field, which is just the single shot, and then the pullback. But yeah, we get to. I think what's this? I'm trying to look. Oh yeah, that's
like
the
is
shot.
That the top of the castle,
it's a shot. So they you see flashes. You can see Adam and Teela coming into shot, but like more in silhouette there. And then we get the two shot of them stood atop the cliff looking out.
It's just amazing, like having the dialogue here, but then also having everything written out around it to say like this. Adam and Teela holding ropes with an arrow pointing. Yeah.
Well, I mean, like Don Manuel's storyboards were always so detailed. If you look at someone like Vicky Jensen's boards, she went on to direct, I think, the first Shrek movie. Vicky Jensen's boards are almost like comical by standard. So her drawings are very like oddly ill-suited for He-Man. But she did episodes like A Trip to Morania and I think of other ones she did. But her storyboards end up working in terms of animation. But it's just when you look at the storyboards, storyboards are only ever meant to be a guide.
Yeah.
But the best storyboard artist would make it so that it was almost impossible for the layout artist and director to ignore. You're like, that's a really good idea. We can't not use that shot or do that. Yeah. Which is why, like, you find that a lot of the directors, like Tom Taylor and Owitz and Sito, they liked storyboarding their own episodes. It's just rare, but it was like, we get more control then. But yeah, you can see Don Manuel's original idea for like the interior of the castle. And
looking at Turan's outfit, looks like he has like a almost like a cowl.
Oh, he has like a big kind of almost Marvel-esque, big cloak.
Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange, that's a good shout. Yeah. When you see him and when you see the ugly version of Turan, you will be glad that they changed it. Like, I love Don Manuel's character designs, but this is one where I'm glad the character designs were changed from what he had illustrated.
It looks kind of like a vampire almost.
Yeah, he almost does. Yeah, I think that's probably what he was going for. Sadly, I don't, because often with the storyboard you get the character designs. Because this was a director's copy, it doesn't have the character designs in it, which is a real shame. Oh look, there you go. It even says it.
I'll be damned.
Vampirish. There you go. I've never clocked that before because I've never.
Looks about the age of 45.
45.
Yeah.
Turan is rugged and wicked, looking about the age of 50. Fascinating. I've never really paid attention to that. But look at that, Tyler. You called it before we even said it. Vampirish.
Yeah.
But
it looks like she has kind of like a
she definitely has a white streak. Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost like Bride of Dracula or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
But yeah, you look at him there.
He looks cool like that, though. Like,
don't get me wrong, they look great, and I would love to have seen the Filmation realized versions of them. But I love the two final designs so much.
I do too. But that's very, very intriguing.
It's a good look, like the cloak, isn't it?
Yeah, I love that outfit.
And she's almost like her cloak goes out like wings.
Yeah.
And he's got
I love it. Like it goes over his neck as opposed to being behind his neck.
Yeah. When you see Sago, to me, I mean, I don't think there's a great close up here, but I think Don Manuel was looking at Lockheed, the dragon from X-Men.
Okay, yeah.
Because he looks so much like him.
I can see it just in that shot right there. I can, because he has that kind of lower.
He's got the lower jaw, and when you see some of the close-ups, it's like, I'm sure this is Lockheed,
Yeah, he does look like Lockheed.
So it's crazy, isn't it? How some of these things manifest. It's like, oh yeah, like we don't know for a fact, but I'm sure if I spoke to Don Manuel and said, like, did you draw Lockheed? He may say yes, whatever. And it's like how that becomes Sago. Again, that's the beauty of animation and production and finding out all this stuff is how these things came to be.
It is cool to think that they pulled a lot of inspiration from movies and comic books. That they were all big fans of that stuff, and it was like, hey, this is a great opportunity to take something I like and put it into this children's show. And it's very striking.
Yeah, his storyboards are always glorious, though, to look at. Really beautiful.
Yeah, well, I mean, as you said, lots of detail.
God, all the kind of demonic like structure coming out of the ground right there. Like
his storyboards for Game Plan are amazing because there's so much kind of layering that episode. And there's so much, and he does like Negator so beautifully.
We got to see that.
Yeah, I'll have to try and that'd be a good one to talk about. Actually, I think that.
I think talking about Game Plan would be a kick-ass episode.
Well, because it's so unique. Because it's like an episode that only exists because of video games. It's like, let's do a video game episode of He-Man. It's like, how do we do that? And it's like they did it somehow.
Yeah.
I love the staging here where like Adam gets pulled out of shot. It's just really
look
really
on Tila's face right there. Like, she's like almost like she's enjoying watching Adam struggle.
She is, yeah. God, motherfucker. But yeah, I'm say this throughout, but his storyboards are so nice.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the most unsung heroes of the He-Man series, I think.
Well, like so many of those Filmation artists are in my eyes. It's like, understandably, you give flowers to your Al Callas and Earl Norams and Rudy Obreras. I get that, of course, because they did the visual packaging. But when you look at like Bob Klein or Don Manuel, a lot of these artists, like these were stupidly talented guys, man.
Yeah.
I mean, like I think Bob Klein is maybe. He won like a daytime Emmy for his work at Disney. So it's like, I think he was doing all right. Oh, this was a deleted scene, so I think there's some deleted dialogue there. I can't really see it from here. She says, "You're doing great. I'm glad someone
angry."
Thinks,
it doesn't really. It's not depicted as being angry that Adam's on its back.
No,
but I guess right here it's clearly showing it.
Yeah, I always knew Adam had the makings of a hero. So obviously they removed that line. Which obviously ties back into the conclusion.
The end of the story, yeah.
So look at Lockheed. Look at Sago there.
Yeah.
That's so Lockheed. I think doesn't Lockheed even have the Mohican? I'll have to have a look.
I don't think he's got the little.
Unless I'm misremembering.
I don't think so, but
Lockheed, the dragon. No, he doesn't. It sure looks like him though.
Yeah.
Actually, the more I look at
that's a cool shot of her.
Yeah, I mean it's 100% Lockheed because he's got that, like Tyler said, he's got the underbite.
Underbite. Yeah, that makes him definitely look a lot like Lockheed.
James, it's so awesome that you have all of this stuff.
And it's not fair.
I don't know if I still own these storyboards because I've scanned them obviously to the highest thing for all of them. But I went through like a stage of selling a lot of the studio copies.
Yeah, but at least like you scanned all this stuff to preserve it.
God, yeah. Like the reason I'm doing all these Friday night trivia videos is like there's so much material to celebrate in just the behind the scenes material, which is what I always love doing. Someone left a comment on my thing the other day saying like, "Oh, it's so lovely about like the Peter Chun Ninja Turtles video I made. Oh, it's so nice hearing the names behind the kind of like the properties. It's like that's all I ever want to do. It's just like, yeah, look at the spider there.
Spider looks very menacing there.
Oh yeah,
very, very cool.
And it kind of ties into when you think back to the castle we just saw in the storyboards, like kind of very demonic faces and spider-like. And it's like I think that's what Don Manuel was going for. Like it's almost very horror. Like I'd say even though the episode, I consider the episode to be like a good Halloween episode, the storyboards more so.
I was gonna say, God, it's still a perfect episode, but to see the looks of these characters looking like this, like I want to see that come to fruition. Like these are just designs that just I can't abide by them just like not being used. Like they just look so like even if it's repurposed for something else, like a totally different.
Very vampire-y there.
Yeah.
Because this is another deleted moment where it's like, you think I look angry? Wait till you see my giant pet. Val Staples is whisked up. Val, come back.
Yeah.
God, like that. This would have made it even more of a.
Well, the cloak as well.
Yeah,
so
and the way
good.
he's holding it out and everything too. Yeah, and posing.
And they've got the 90-degree field turn there because it's like, yeah. Oh, look, there's the shadow. I think just behind Sega. So yeah, this is obviously not every panel, but like there's the end of Act 1, which if you look, I think the final version is better than this because there he just kind of stands there, like stands back and is illuminated. Yeah. Whereas in the episode he does the kind of
clenching it like across his chest, like
angry kind of like which is I think much better. But yeah, I just these storyboards are so cool.
I mean, really though, that you're gonna sit there and take the time to draw like every little nook and cranny. And
also bear in mind, like with these storyboards, they would have been done in blue pencil first and then inked. It's insane.
I'm assuming because I'm curious, like which maybe this is in the script, but you know, is it in the script too that Tyrion and Valterra look like this, or is this Don Manuel like taking upon himself to kind of come up with an idea of what they may look like?
I mean, let me have a look. I'll find the script. I mean, like I think I've said quite a few times the storyboard artists often started work on the script, and all they had was often started work on the storyboard with only the script, and then they'd be illustrating, and then halfway through, the character design department would be like, "Here's the characters." It's like this looks nothing like what we've been doing.
Okay, gotcha.
But I'll have a look see what the description is for the characters whilst we. Again, this is something Don Manuel would do in his storyboards. He would take a scene, and if it had multiple layers, he would break it down to say, like, right, this is what we're doing with this, and it needs to be used in these things. This will move like this. He did the same with Negator's base of operations in Game Plan. It's insane. He does all this layering, and you barely see it in the episode, but it's like, oh, man.
Yeah.
Let me find the character descriptions for these two. 35.
God, he put so much details into the vines and the trees growing. Like there's just so many like lines and shadows and vines growing all around. Just for one.
Okay,
shot.
Here's so. Lord
look at the dragon.
Yeah, I thought you'd
there.
Like
that looks almost like a cobra, almost.
Yeah, pretty vicious. Hey, where do you think you're going?
Yeah, it is. It is a cobra.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Oh my God, that'd have been badass to see that.
Oh God, it is. Yeah, I've never realized. Yeah.
Oh my amazing. God.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Damn it.
So it's like, look at everything we missed out on here.
Sega looks adorable right there. Like
yeah,
that looks so.
Tyler's gonna knock a couple of points off the episode because now he wants this one.
I'm just like, oh my God, like, can we still use these ideas? This is phenomenal.
Yeah, there's He-Man doing the rope tying up.
Yeah, Sego's excited to see the victory there. Oh man,
what does it say there?
He-Man's cleverness.
This should hold him till we find him a new home. Classic, line of dialogue there. As in, some more dropped dial as well. So they're clearly, editing it. Because that's the thing, the storyboard artists had the ability to remove dialogue or edit dialogue if they felt it didn't work. Sometimes it was a good choice. Sometimes it was like, oh no, you shouldn't have done that.
Better shot to show the streak in the
hair.
Yeah.
It's almost like she's like, what's her name? And what no, and the Lily in the wife of the Munsters.
That's
yeah.
That's what I'm thinking of. Bloody hell, good shout.
Which it would have been interesting to see her depicted as a very elegant, attractive but evil character with these kind of vampiric,
vampiric-like features.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Look at Tyrion's face, very zombie-like right there.
Yeah. He even looks like he's got the bat nose, doesn't it?
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Which is funny when you think about it. It was voiced by George DiCenzo, who would go on to voice Hordak.
Hordak,
who was kind of a bat in ways. Oh, what is that? Sorry, what's that line of dialogue that was removed? What does that say? But I'm tired of this whole place anyway. I'm glad they removed that.
That doesn't work.
That doesn't work. You don't need that kind of level of humor. Kind of
humor.
Tense scene.
It kills the tone.
Yeah.
Tila breaks into a smile right here.
Yeah.
I do. One thing we didn't talk about in the episode is like when Turan's giving his speech, he goes like, "Why should I leave? My woman no longer wants me." And I think she says something like that. She's like, "Don't be so sure she does not." And I was like, the way she delivers that.
It's a very sensual way she delivers. Oh
you're gonna get some after this.
Oh boy, when these weirdos aren't around, when this look at they're all attracted now.
Yeah, I mean, even
the middle
look at
shot
her
of
right
him,
there.
like mid transformation too, looks very imposing. Like it definitely looks like Count Dracula a lot.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Look at there. That looks like he literally looks like the guy in the Transylvanian Connection or the Bride of Dracula in the Amazing Friends episode when he's in his human form.
Yes, yeah. That episode could have been so good.
Oh, it's again, that's one of those where I think it's just let down by the visuals.
Yeah.
Look at this. I like Val and Tyrion in the background, just like, hello. Yeah, you can tell at this point, like, I think either there's a few revisions at the end, so the artwork just kind of gets rushed.
Boy, look at her doe's risen in that picture.
It might not even be... Oh yeah, blimey! It might not even be Don Manuel illustrating it though at this point. It might be, because like here the PSA, the moral segment is illustrated by Steve Hickner. He did, I think, a majority of the moral segments.
Okay.
You can always tell it's Steve Hickner because he never draws Orko with ears.
But it's a fun illustration of Orko and Cringer.
Oh, he's great. I mean, without Steve Hickner is the guy who designed Orko's face that we all.
This is very like Garfield-esque.
It is.
It is.
It
Yeah.
does look like Garfield.
Eyes,
yeah.
Do you want to hear a little Steve Hickner anecdote? So in the oh my goodness, I think it was in the late 90s. Oh, we'll come back to this in a minute.
Oh, that's awesome.
In the Steve, so in the late 90s, Steve Hickner was working on, I think it was he directed The Prince of Egypt. I might be wrong about that, or he worked on it in a big way. So like DreamWorks' first animated feature, maybe even their first film. And Lee's partner was working at DreamWorks. So Lee went to visit his partner and Lee parks his car, goes in the studio. Steve Hickner walks in like about 10 minutes later and says, oh my, like Steve Hickner who worked on He-Man was like, whose car's out there with like the He-Man sticker on the bumper? And Lee was like, oh, that's mine. He's just like, oh, right. Because it's like, to Steve Hickner, it was just like, oh, not He-Man. Like, he's one of those like guys that worked on He-Man. It's like, oh, he might be a bit more fond of it now, but post 10 years removed, he was very much like, oh, not He-Man.
Sounds like how Paul Dini.
Paul Dini, yeah. I mean, Paul Dini, like, I remember like Paul Dini and Bruce Timm. I know it was Paul Dini shitting on Batman the animated series at one point. I was just like, oh, it's clear he hates everything he's worked on.
Wait. Really?
Yeah, he was. I remember distinctly watching an interview with him, or I was reading something, and he was saying like, oh yeah, it was all right. And I was just like, you changed the face of animation and storytelling you like, don't get me wrong, I love everything that came before, but there's no doubt that Batman animated series changed the landscape of everything.
Oh my God, yeah.
And but his attitude was like, just like, no, not meow. So yeah, but that's Dini for you.
So then you give him one of these, huh?
Yeah. So this was from when I did the video for the official YouTube channel. And I did the whole thing about, touching Valtira's boob. And I was like, you're like, women don't appreciate when you, and yeah, so I thought I'd have this artist, James State, who's like one of my favorite kind of comedic artists, illustrate Valtira giving He-Man a proper like whack. And this is a piece for Serial Geek that still needs to come out for one of the issues. It's like, what if an episode were a comic cover? So I did this rough layout of like Prince Adam in the foreground, Valtira kind of stood over him, and then Lord Turan in the background. And then I had this artist, I think Fernando Paniche, illustrated it, and it was colored by Andrew Kramer. So you can see the final version next. So yeah, this was
badass.
So I was just like, I love it, because I kind of like the way she's like looking at her nails, like keeping him subservient. And little
look at Sego there.
Yeah, little Sego.
This fucking rocks. I want a print of that.
Yeah, I can give you a print of it if you want. And then in the background,
love to have a print of it.
There's your spider dude.
Awesome. Like that needs to be done more. Like,
yeah, I mean, it was a fun project. I was just like, I kind of wanted to bring. I love her character so much,
and that's a beautiful rendition of her too.
Yeah.
Like, I just the way her hand, and Adam looks great. Like,
but Fernando Paniche is such. I also like the way he's illustrated Adam's the white. It was almost like clothing, not just pure muscle. So it's like, that works for me. That's like, he's one of my favorite artists to work with. I think he works on Turtles these days, like officially. I might be wrong about that, but yeah.
Very impressive.
And then there is also, James shared with me, he loves the character so much that one of his friends.
Marianne.
I'm familiar with this. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought this would be really good to showcase, because it's one of my favorite cosplays as well. My friend Marianne is such a good sport. She and the beauty of it is she went all out. Like, she doesn't care for like these characters. But I was like, look, we've been invited to a convention. Do you want to dress up? She's like, because she loves making costumes. She's like, yeah. Who shall I go as? And I was just like, Lady Valtira. I was like, she's a redhead, so that helps because you're a natural red. And so she made this costume from scratch. But shopping with her for the materials was so good, because she wanted nothing but pure accuracy to the cartoon. So I'd be like, that. Is this close enough? And she was like, no. We need it to be the right red and the right or the right magenta and the right violet. And we did this this was great, because she's holding this bouquet. She's like, oh, this is so cool. And then about 5 seconds later, she's like, oh my God. She goes, I'm covered in ants. Because there was like all these like fucking ants coming out of it. And that was her. There was this was taken at Grayskull Con. We were like, it was just her and I in the middle of nowhere. The convention was elsewhere. We were just like, let's go over here and do a photo shoot. And we found this stage. And so she just got in, because she's like a classically trained singer. So she got on stage and started singing. I was like, yeah, why not? And then, of course, Grayskull Con, you have like some of the best kind of costume makers and prop designers. So this is they made the Diamond Ray Disappearance.
Oh, man, that's so cool.
They even made, I don't know where the photo is. Do I own it? No, I don't own it. But it's the, who's the villain from Tauron's weird little mini TV screen? They made that as well. But the pistol from, I think, the Grayskull, Castle Grayskull playset.
Oh, yes.
But yeah, she was so awesome to do that. She did Sweet Bee as well, and she did. You may not like that sword, and I'm not the biggest fan of it, but
it still looks great though.
To bring that to life with that accuracy.
Yeah, no, it looks awesome. I would like to pose with that sword. That'd be awesome.
I mean, it shows you how tiny she is as well, because it's like bloody 5'2" assassins. It's like, that's
who's this guy?
Who's this guy? I'm wearing the same top. Look at that. Representing.
Oh man, look at the smolder from James.
Oh, I love that. Look at my skin back then. Jesus, so smooth.
James likes to pucker his lips in pictures too, doesn't he?
I love a good pucker. I'm a pucker, and I said to Nathan, I said I would have said, show the photos of her as Celeste, but there's a reason I don't want. She never wants those shown publicly.
Oh, okay. That's fair. That is fair.
But I can't remember where that dagger was from. But she was like, to bring that to life so convincingly. She did a gem cosplay at San Diego Comic Con, which was awesome, because at the same time the Gem movie was coming out, and she's walking around looking more like Gem than anything from that movie. It's just like, oh right, okay. But yeah.
Tyler, I'm assuming you probably need to go use the bathroom.
Yes, I do.
Yes.
You go do that, and we'll start taking some questions and comments and stuff. And then Tyler and I, we got to talk about some movies.
Oh my God, I forgot we were going to do that too, man. We'll be here for another 3 hours, then.
All right. Well, while we do that, I've never seen them in the chat before. So this is from, I'm probably going to mispronounce this, but Somar. What up, Doe? What do y'all think of Superman animations 41, 66, and 88? What are your thoughts on all Superman's animated form?
41 was obviously Fleischer, which is astonishing. How do you top that?
It's crazy to think that's like almost 100 years ago.
Yeah, and it's like, and those, I mean, I know there's been issues with restorations and stuff, but I mean, when you see them still, it's just like, bloody hell. Yeah. Like that first episode where he fights the giant robot creature? I forget the name of it now. Superman. Just, it's crazy when you watch it. That's like, how is it this? Because obviously they were animating for cinema audiences. Because these were like short, but that's astonishing. The funny thing about the Filmation show in '66 is I didn't watch it until, I would say, like the last 15, 20 years, something like that. Because I'd always thought, oh, it's going to be one of those old Filmation shows where the animation is. You look at it, it's like, oh, they clearly put a bit more into this because I think it was their first animated show.
Yeah.
So it's the 66 Filmation Superman show is like really quite nice. 88, the Toei Doga animated Superman series from Ruby Spears. From what I remember that being on a Saturday afternoon, so it was like a weird time, would often get missed. But from what I saw of it, and what I've seen of it in subsequent years here and there, it's a really nice looking series, like really nice. So, I mean, in animation, Superman's been done good kind of continuously.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And obviously, you had the Superman animated series in 96, which was rather phenomenal.
Yeah. Tyler,
I always like the 41 series because I was really big on the Mad Scientist episode. That's the one that's always stuck out to me.
That's literally that's the one.
Yeah. 66 and 8, I've yet to see a full episode. I've just heard of them. I never came across them or anything like that. So
I was saying the 66 one by Filmation, I'd written off for years. I was like, I'm not going to watch that because made the same mistake with Zorro, where I was like, why am I going to watch that? Then I watched Zorro and I was like, holy shit, Tokyo Movie Shinsha and Filmation, this is amazing. When you watch the Superman cartoon, you'll be like, oh, this is odd because this is like really good for Filmation in 66. What happened when I'm not saying their animation got worse, but they obviously cut costs as, animation costs were rising. So I don't know, maybe because it was their first show, they just put like loads of effort into making, but it's really nice, the Filmation Superman series, like really nice.
Yeah, I can believe it. I just never made a point to just stop and like just, because Danielle, I think she recommended the Ruby Spears one. And
it is, from what I've seen, I mean, like I won't profess to seeing all of it, but it is really good. It's Toei Doga as well doing the work on that.
Yeah, I got to see that.
A comment here earlier on, also someone I've never seen in the live chat before. Joe Trevino, hi guys, big fan of your Master Universe discussions. I love when He-Man would go against other villains. Too bad the Lord guy wasn't a reoccurring villain.
Yeah, I mean, it's always the problem when you kind of a character, a villain, becomes good at the end. It's kind of, how'd you bring them back? Unless it's a shared. You think, well, I could bring back Tyrann of Volterra against the new menace, but it's like, no. If you bring back Tyrann of Volterra, you want them to be the focus. Which is why it's good that Negator, even though he makes a shit second appearance, they never made him good. It wasn't like at the end of Video Magic. That was the original name of the episode. At the end of Game Plan, it wasn't a case of, oh, well, I've made a mistake or two. I really should be playing with my Commodore 64 instead. It's like the end, it's like, no, he's still a shit.
If they were to bring him back with under the guise that Tyrann's turned evil again, like he would be doing it against his will because someone's kidnapped Valterra. So
that would be
do these things. So they all think, oh my God, like, we thought you were like, he's like, you don't understand. Like, no, they've got my wife and I'm doing all these things to appease this jerk off or something like that. At least give the illusion that, oh my God, like, he's
he's gone bad again. He gone bad again.
Which I'm like, I hate the Dragoon, even though I like his
Love the episode. But
I love the episode. Yeah. I just wish that we got to see more of him as one of the Skeletor's henchmen before he made the turn. You know,
the fact he was originally in Diamond Drive Disappearance still
blows
my
mind. When I first heard that, I'm like, oh my god, man! Like that just drove me crazy to know.
Just
that.
Like Dragoon was going to be like one of the main guys. It's just nuts.
To see him in that roll call at the open.
Yeah,
like
Dragoon. Just like holy shit!
Damn it.
Some comments that we had on last week's episode when we did our power ratings, which I had a lot of fun doing. I can't wait until we do the next one. Grayskull Cannon, with a lot of comments giving scores that they would have given the characters. There was one on a side note about Lex Luger. I remember him going toe-to-toe with the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. And then that got me thinking. I'm like, I don't think I've ever watched a match between the two of them. So that's something that I need to just track down and see how well
when Lex was a heel?
It would have had to have been, because it would have been late '80s, mid to late.
Because by the time like Lex was like a big good guy in WCW, Dusty had already left, and he come back, and he wasn't wrestling anymore.
Yeah, let me try to find.
I always kind of just every once in a while remember that for a brief moment, Dusty was in the NWO.
Oh
God,
I forgot about that.
What was that?
Yeah. And he was only there for like a little bit, and then he would just disappear.
He's just like, hey, this is where the top guys are at. I got to put myself there too.
It literally got to the point where there was nobody outside.
It just never made any sense when it's like, oh, we've been feuding with the NWO for so long, and I guess it's the old adage, if you can't beat them, join them thing. But I was just like, what is the point of this? Yeah, they really.
And then I got really confused. Remember that WrestleMania? Like I don't know how long ago it was.
When they came out,
and I was like, but why would they be on the side of the end? It was the NWO were fighting for Sting, and it's like, but they
and DX comes out.
That was like, oh,
and then Sting doesn't win the match. Jesus Christ!
Yeah, that was so fucking stupid.
I hated that. That was just more Vince. Like I won. Damn it. I bought.
Just so sad.
Very sad.
It's so easy to picture Vince behind the scenes, like a gorilla position. We're gonna bury you, Sting.
Oh no, of course. I mean, like the scary thing is that's probably 99% accurate. That's probably what he was doing. Like, given we've seen him interviewed or quotes and stuff, he probably was going like, there's the final nail in the coffin. It's like, you won 20-something years ago. Why are you still going on?
And I'm thinking, like, what did you tell Steve to make him want to come in and be Sting again? Like, because he's like, I don't want to go there. Like, but you told him something. And he's okay, I'll take this opportunity.
Yeah, because the Sting's whole thing was like, no, I saw how they treated DDP and Booker T and all those guys, and I don't want them treating me like that. And then he goes and they treat him like that. And I'm like, oh my God. Johnny commenting on there, another ace episode, gents. Love how you two work through the topic, then pivot to best friend banter on a dime, and then back to the subject. When you decide to go off on the Master Universe Freeway, I'm looking forward to more Marvel Masterpieces card look-throughs, especially eager to see your thoughts on the 2016 cards, since Joe Jusko did that set and was the first artist focused on it in 1996. Fun fact, he pitched the project to Upper Deck because he just got married and wanted to be able to buy a house.
Oh,
I'm like, what great positioning you need to be in. Just be like, you know what? I want to buy a house. Hey, Upper Deck, I'll make these cards for you. Just give me the money. And
I wish I could do that.
That's awesome. His 2016 wave of cards is pretty damn good too. Like, I still say the first one's still the best, but that 2016 lineup is pretty good too.
Oh man, I'm trying to think of. We'll get to a couple of these. Zentron, remember the Space Sentinel show? What are your thoughts on it?
Formation one.
I'm assuming so.
Yeah, I mean, it was all right. It was 13 episodes, maybe if that. And it was one of Filmation shows where they were doing too many shows. The only kind of shows from that period that were really awesome, from like that late mid or maybe mid 70s to prior to He-Man, were I'd say Tarzan and Flash Gordon. They were like really good. Then you had kind of Lone Ranger was all right. Zorro was fantastic, and Black Star. Yeah, Space Sentinels.
Oh, okay. I recognize. I've never seen it, but I recognize that.
Yeah, it was originally called Young Sentinels, which they all have the letter Y on their belts. But, yeah, what are you going to do?
Yeah, I've never even
actually on the DVD for Space Sentinels when BCI released it. There's the live action pitch they were going to do for a show, so you get them cool. Like the actors like live action. It's like, oh, interesting.
Let's talk about that new video game that got announced for Master Universe, Dragon Pearl of Destruction.
I've only seen like that one trailer, and I know She-Ra and Chakotay are in it and stuff like that.
Yeah, so it's going to be 4 playable characters. It's He-Man, Man-at-Arms Teela, and She-Ra is going to be playable.
I guess you unlock She-Ra, I guess.
I would assume maybe she's probably unlockable, or there could be some other characters too.
Dude, why can't you unlock like Fisto and Clamp Champ?
I'm sure, like I'm not up with modern video games, but I guarantee like they'll keep adding to this because you can.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So long as they add the right characters. I don't want to see like some random nonsense from classics
like
or origins.
Mattel's like, hey, I made up this character that no one likes. Put him in the game.
Yeah, Flangemaster. I want to do Flangemaster in it. Why? It's like we've got this. No, we're going to do Flangemaster. Okay. Yeah. He's in it now.
Yeah. Do it.
I'm gonna show off just one of the images here. This kind of takes.
That's awesome.
Look at that.
But so clearly, seeing Chakotay, seeing Granomir in it, and going with Filmation-esque designs, they clearly want to make it good.
Yeah, even with like putting the Serpentoids in there, the Robot Knights.
Yeah.
Look
at the background.
Warriors.
The background is the Royal Palace Terrace. You got the lion on the thing. It's like that's. I'm not saying. I don't want to say like, oh, so much love is being put into this, but people are clearly putting in the hard work. And like I think I might have told you guys back in, I think it was like Christmas of 2023. I was like, I really want to play Shredder's Revenge, the Ninja Turtles game that came out. Mm-hmm. But I know the last game I ever bought was in the 90s, right? So I'm like, I don't understand how I've got my laptop. How do I? So I downloaded something called Steam. How like an old man does.
You're sounding decrepit right now.
So I was like, I downloaded something called Steam.
I mean, Tyler's sitting there like, I don't even know what you're talking
about. Yeah, I'm even worse than you are, James.
Like, it's good. I'm glad we're both in the same call. I downloaded this thing called Steam. I downloaded the game. And I was like, right, I'm going to play Ninja Turtles on my Steam. So I'm now purposefully hamming up. But I started playing it. And I really enjoyed it. But then for some reason, I just never continued. Like I played it for like a day or so. And I was just like, this game is awesome. I love it. It's good. But then I never came back to it. So my hope is that this Christmas, I'm going to play the shit out of that Shredder's Revenge. Because I've always tried to say spoiler free of like long plays online of it. I was like, I don't want to know any spoilers.
It's a lot of fun, and when you beat the game, you unlock a character.
I've seen like bits and pieces. And it's just like that looks so awesome. That looks great. That's just Vernon's. You see Vernon in it, and all these different characters. Like, brilliant. But and I was hoping this He-Man game was going to come out in time for Christmas, but someone said it's next year. I was like, oh, okay. But I would definitely buy it.
Yeah, I assumed that the release date was probably going to be sometime last year. The trailer didn't specify anything, and any of the articles that I had seen on video game websites didn't give an exact date. But I'm looking forward to checking it out and playing it.
It's funny. When I saw that, my heart kind of grew in size. I was just like, because in the early days of the He-Man She-Ra community, like probably like 96, 97 on the mailing list, we did a thing. I just remember let's pretend there's a He-Man video game. We all came up with different scenarios, and my version of a video game was, I know Tyler's not going to like the opening line of this. Uh-oh. I thought, like, how do you bring everyone together like a Secret Wars battle
world.
It's like Battle Earth? Yeah, Battle World.
John Travolta.
I thought you get
God.
Yeah, Tyler saw that opening weekend.
You saw Battlefield Earth at cinema.
It was a late showing of it too. Oh,
yeah, he saw it in theaters.
Did you? When you came out, did you get your complimentary Scientology book?
No, I will say my brother was pushing to go to see it. I'm like, okay, it might be pretty good. I'm like, what the fuck was that? Like,
oh man.
He even bought like some of the figures. Like he's the only person that has a Barry Pepper action figure.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
at least someone has a Barry Pepper action figure.
Well, he did at the time. But I think he still liked it after we saw it. Like I think he rented it when it came out on video and stuff like that. And of course, he's certainly not a Scientologist by any means. He can give a fuck about that. He just thought it was a cool looking movie, and I just thought, nah, that movie sucks.
Because like when we were talking about video games, my idea for a video game was that Horde Prime just puts everyone on like Horde World, and so you get like a Street Fighter fighting game, like just because this was the late 90s, kind of
like Turtles Tournament of Champions.
Yes, Tournament Fighters.
Tournament Fighters.
Yeah, I was thinking of like at that point in the mid to late 90s, one-on-one beat 'em ups were like king, as in the scrolling beat 'em up had kind of gone the way of not the dodo, but
they weren't making them as abundantly as they were the fighting games.
They'd capitalized on everything Street Fighter related. So I thought a He-Man video game that's like a one-on-one street fight would be like fantastic. You'd have like, He-Man, then second option for He-Man is Faker or something, and you have these battles, and I just thought that would be so good, because this was also at the time of like Street Fighter Alpha or Zero, depending on your preference, and I loved those games, and I just thought like, oh, that'd be so good to have that aesthetic, but He-Man characters. And obviously this was in 96, 97, and just like, it's never going to happen, because no one's going to... Finally saw this game, I was like, oh, this is like it's not a one-on-one, but it's a scrolling beat 'em up, and it looks like what I would have loved. I've always loved the pixel look of things. Yeah, you see some games where they do like actual kind of cartoon, style, like, you can imagine like a Filmation character model, but like in that style.
Yeah.
But I thought, like, I do like the pixel aspect, like
I do too.
The pixel technique. It was so sweet.
That was the best way probably to go about it, and it's just exciting to see that this property's finally going to get like a decent, because this is probably going to be a good game. I don't see it being bad.
I remember when, was it the 2003 cartoon came out? Maybe a year or two after, they released like
that Game Boy Advance game.
There was one for PlayStation 2 over
PlayStation 2 one.
Yeah. That one. Yeah.
And I think that was a bit crap, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, it didn't look good from the
No.
I was pissed that we didn't get it though, because I was like, man, why the fuck the UK get it and we don't?
Wait, is that true? The UK?
We didn't get that here. No. All we got was the Game Boy Advance.
That was it.
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to nip to the mill on that bombshell. I'm back in a second.
One more thing I want to cover before Tyler and I start talking about movies. I know this is running a little long, but hey, the org is back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Run by Adam McCoon.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't think they're going down the community aspect of it. I haven't spoke to anybody about this. But my guess is they want it to be like the research, like kind of what Battle Ram blog is. So
I'm glad they're going that way, because I love the Battle Ram blog, and I think taking the org and turning it back into a resource site, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, especially for our show. I'm like, yes, please. That way, some of the stuff that I don't have, but just having all the different options up here that you can. So it's like, we'll click on classics here, and then. As you scroll down,
I'll be back in.
Yeah. You do you. So we got content here, and it's toys and ads, and of course, all of this is still under construction as we go along. So we get that, and a lot of these images, I think, were pulled from the collection guide, so you can just see in chronological order, which I thought was really awesome. Now I can see for myself what figures came out what year.
God, just looking at that, I'm just bringing back memories of like how the humble beginnings of the line starting, and how like it was just one figure at a time for a long time.
And just being surprised that as you go down the list here, that's like, oh, Clawful didn't come until 2011.
Yeah.
And Leech didn't show up until 2011. So Sorceress not even until 2012.
Again, it was just look, Mighty Spectre came out 2012 too. I'll be damned.
And then we can kind of
it went on, quite a long time there. I mean, it really
then we get to
when Super 7 took over too. So it was definitely a long line, a well-loved line, and that's why it's still heartbreaking that people who decide to say, no, you're having too much fun, we're going to do something else.
Let's click on new adventures here and see what we got. So we click on toys, and then, as I said, under construction. So like these
will be more images uploaded over time.
So we click on Skeletor, and then it's like, boom, here's a gallery, here's the packaging. I'm like,
that's what I got at Hills, was that 2-pack there. That's one of the rare things to get, or the 2-packs that came out. That was my introduction to New Adventures of He-Man, was that.
Yeah.
That blew my damn mind. Like, oh my God, a new He-Man line?
Yeah. So I'm just loving how the website is laid out. Let's click on.
They even had the commemorative line too.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and click on commemorative. Yeah. So we
talk about that was a big deal back in the dark ages when there was nothing, and they're going to re-release these in Toys R Us and KB and Walmart. Like
I remember seeing these in KB specifically.
New Adventures or
the commemorative.
Oh, the commemorative, yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing those in KB all the time.
Because they had a few exclusives. Like something was just exclusive to like KB or I think it was there's Sears exclusive too, like the multi packs. There's the Four Horsemen or three of them.
Yep. And
that's four.
Here's prototypes. Yeah, there's all four.
Oh yeah. Seeing those the 2-Up statues that were released at the time, boy, I tell you that was a lot of fond memories of seeing like what the Horsemen were doing and what Mattel had brewing at the time. It was very exciting to be a He-Man fan at that time when that line was coming to fruition.
But yeah, we got it all. So it's like vintage She-Ra, New Adventures, 2000X, commemorative, classics, Super 7, Origins, Masterverse, Mondo. It's all going to be there. And then just it's just so nice to have all this back. So even what's new, so you can just see here, and it's like, okay,
all the stuff I've uploaded. Like I love to go put catalog scans on there and all the various memorabilia and merchandise.
Yeah. So it's going to be nice to just have those resources again, because as I've stated before, there's a lot of things that I would pull from the org. That's like, I need an image of this, I need an image of that, and then started going to Battle Ram. So just kind of have all this together now, and I assuming Adam's still going to run the Battle Ram blog as well.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So it's nice to have that back again. Tyler, let's talk movies. So Tyler, this was what was it? Early in the week? Was it like a Monday or was it last weekend?
I think it was maybe been last weekend at the beginning of the week. Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of put me to task a little bit of talking about some Chuck Norris movies.
Oh boy.
And Chuck Norris is one of those guys that I haven't watched a lot of his stuff, really, aside from like your Invasion USA's and catching stuff on TV. Of course, I watched Walker, Texas Ranger when it was on. But he's just, even watching the movies, I kind of realized too, I'm like, it works. Most of the movies only work when the supporting cast around him and the story itself is just so batshit crazy that it kind of helps elevate just because he's not very charismatic to me when you compare him to like Sly and Arnold. He's just always there, always brooding. His delivery is pretty much always the same. So the movies that worked the best for me, I watched 7 of these. I still haven't finished Missing in Action 3, Tyler. But that one's...
They made a third?
Yeah.
Braddock,
Missing in Action 3, directed by his younger brother. My favorite of the bunch absolutely has to be Lone Wolf McQuade, because it's it's just the good bad. Like I'm laughing a lot, and it's cheesy. Tyler, I don't know were some of these first time watches for you as well?
Yeah, some of them were, because I was aware of them. Like my papa owned Lone Wolf McQuade. I just never watched it.
Yeah,
and that's kind of where I started watching Chuck Norris movies. Was at his house, because he was a Chuck Norris fan, and I got the Chuck Norris Karate Commandos for Christmas of '87 as well. So that was a big introduction to Chuck Norris as well.
Man, the only time I think I've ever seen a Chuck Norris film is Bruce Lee's A Game of Death, or
it's called Return of the Dragon here in the States. And I think
it's different. Yeah, it's a different name over here.
Yeah,
because he fights him at the Colosseum in Rome, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
his big hairy chest.
You need to watch Lone Wolf McQuade, because David Carradine plays the villain, and Chuck Norris has said that David Carradine's martial arts is a lot like like Chuck Norris's acting, because I guess he's on board with the fact that he's not a great actor. But the supporting cast in that is great. Having so the whole thing, it's in the title. He's a lone wolf. He does his own stuff, and he never wants a partner, and then he ends up with a partner. And
he's got a partner.
Yeah, but
and a really hot love interest in the movie too. Oh my gosh, she's stunning in that movie.
Who is it?
She was in one of the Roger Moore James Bond movies. I can't remember.
Let's have a look. What's this film called?
Barbara Carrera.
Yeah,
she was in Never Say Never Again. What's the Bond film that she was in?
I'm working backwards.
Yeah, she's badass.
But the movies,
Carrera,
yeah, the movies that I watched Missing in Action 2, A Force of One, Lone Wolf McQuade, An Eye for an Eye, Code of Silence, and I'm most of the way through Missing in Action 3. Tyler, which did you watch all of these?
Yeah. Which some of them I had already seen before, and I just.
Which ones were new to you?
Lone Wolf, Eye for an Eye, Force of One.
Okay.
And Code of Silence. And I heard of all. I remember seeing Code of Silence in the video store back in the 80s. Like I just remember seeing. I just never like stopped to rent it. It would have bored me to tears if I saw it as a kid, though.
Well, that's the thing. Like watching it recent, like the 22nd, so 2 days ago. I'm like, this is a well-made movie, but for Chuck Norris in this vehicle, I need shit to just be like really crazy and dumb. It's like too serious for me. Like I gave it 3.5 out of 5 because I'm like, it's a well-made movie. I like the idea that the one cop that accidentally shoots that kid who's
Did you recognize who that cop was?
Yeah, he's in that fake film in Home Alone. Delivering that
pump your guts full of lead. You know?
Yeah. That because he's been on the force so long and all the other cops are like, yeah, we believe him. Let's sign. Chuck Norris is like, I know what he did. We're gonna put a what is like an evaluation.
We're signing a petition to like all agree that he's not corrupt. He didn't fuck up. And Chuck's like, I'm not signing that shit.
Yeah, so they kind of push Chuck out of their little cop group. So he's just like he's on his own, and it was a good movie. But I'm like, I need it to be funny without it, like they're like good bad movie kind of thing. I thought too that An Eye for an Eye and A Force of One were kind of in the same boat of Code of Silence, that they just didn't really do a whole lot for me. Like they're decent, but it wasn't crazy enough. What did you think of A Force of One?
It's all right. It's got a fun premise to it and everything like that. I just feel like it lacks a punch.
And it's so far-fetched because the whole thing is like this guy is going around and he's killing cops, so we got to hire Chuck Norris so he can teach self-defense karate to the other cops.
Excuse to get Chuck into the movie because he teaches. Is like they're not coming up with an actual role for him. Like he does what he does. He teaches karate, so let's just have him teach karate. It's a very lazy script about
how is this person killing people, like killing cops? What with
killing them with martial arts? He's like,
so he's killing them with martial arts.
Yeah, karate kicking them and breaking their necks.
Oh right,
so they're recognizing that
it's a gun instead.
The police can't do. So we need someone who's an expert in this too.
Oh, right, we need someone. Yeah.
Why
don't we use a police officer who's actually got a gun?
Yeah. But these cops are all flubby cops, and they just they walk in to the scenario where they're processing drugs and trying to send them out in various ways, and they just stumble upon it, and then a guy wearing snow equipment, he's not much of a ninja, comes in and just like Austin Powers judo chop takes them out. So it's it's not a bad movie.
Sounds very cinematic.
It's not bad, but I think if you're comparing the premise of that and just Lone Wolf McQuade is just got it all. Really, like Carradine is the villain, hamming it up. The story is it's goofy fun, but it's at a speed that you're sitting there like, all right. An Eye for an Eye kind of felt the same way. It's better than A Force of One. It's got Christopher Lee
as the villain,
as the villain. But I'll read you the synopsis. Sean Kane, as Chuck Norris's character, is forced to resign from the San Francisco Police Department's narcotic division when he goes berserk after his partner is murdered. He decides to fight alone and follows a trail of drug traffickers in unexpected high places. Which was this the movie that had? No. Which maybe it was. Maybe
I don't know why I laughed at like the synopsis of like he goes berserk, and it's like I can understand why he got fired.
Not really. He just becomes he gets let go, and he's
you're gonna have to go, Chuck.
Yeah, well they have to like get you really interested in it. Which one, Tyler? Which of these movies had the girl from Friday the 13th Part 3 in it?
Oh, she's in Lone Wolf McQuade.
Okay.
Yeah, she's like my daughter.
Watching them all, I'm like, all right, what? It was all starting to blend together.
Probably just blended together with you.
Yeah. But An Eye for an Eye also has is it Mako?
Mako.
There we go. Tomato. It's sort of like his
his mentor, and like his daughter was dating his was the wife of his partner that got killed, and
she gets killed.
She gets killed, and
then he makes out in the shower with
her roommate and her friend that works for the same TV station.
Yeah, she's a terrible act. I like her deliveries in that are not that great. And then, of course, Missing in Action. Tyler's a big fan of Missing in Action 2. And the funny thing about that is they filmed the Missing in Action 2 together. So the first one was supposed to be the sequel, but when they watched it, they're like, let's put this out first. Because I guess they didn't like the sequel, apparently.
I was going to say, it's like quality filmmaking and storytelling when you can just go like this with two movies. I think they were thinking about the same thing with Ghostbusters 2. Why don't we put this one second? Not first.
Hey, now.
That makes sense.
There's nothing wrong with Ghostbusters 2. I still to this day don't understand people's like shitting all over it.
No, it's not the worst.
But I enjoyed both of those. I think if I had a preference, I'm going to follow Tyler's lead, and I think Missing in Action 2 is the better of the two films. But I gave them the same score because I felt that they were just sort of different in their own merit. I like more of the bits of 2 where it's the camaraderie with the other guys, and they're trying to figure out how we're going to break out of here and figure all this out. Whereas Missing in Action focused more solely on him. And there's not
just trying to get to the prison camp. Like, I just, I like seeing Chuck, like, losing his buddies all around him, being tortured relentlessly by Colonel Yin. The jungle's like, you can't get out. There's traps all over the place, and trying to figure how the hell are they going to get out of here, get everyone out safely, and just it's just a constant struggle. Like, and then to have that final showdown in Colonel Yin's, hut, like Chuck's just ready to beat the fuck out of him now. Like,
well, I mean, rightfully so, because he's a son of a bitch in the whole movie. Between
so good is
between the fake outs, because they do it twice. The first one's a fake out where they bring the guy there, they put a gun to his head, and it's like, this is it, and he clicks, and then he maniacally laughs, and then they repeat the same thing, and the guy's like, he's just bluffing, but then he like actually shoots the guy.
That was the first time I ever saw anyone get their head blown, like a bullet in the head. Was that?
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God. It's like, this guy looks like Ernest, like just getting his head.
And then the dude that has like the pet chicken, and then like he breaks his neck and then throws it down there to him. I was like, holy shit.
That's
like,
and then, terrible pet owner. He's got a pet chicken. He just decides to kill it.
No. Colonel Yin takes the pet chicken and looks down at him and says, well, you're the only one left. And then strangles him in front of him. Yeah. And then tosses the dead chicken down to him.
Yeah,
because he's the only one left in the camp, other than Captain Poe and his crew.
Yeah,
and
the chicken was a witness. He's like, you can't have any more witnesses.
It's just sad because he's just doing it just to be mean and ugly, and poor Franklin, who's got malaria. He says like, if he signs a confession, I'll give him some medicine that will help him. It's just opium. They think he's dead, they put him on this bed outside. He wakes up and Colonel Yin puts gasoline on him and sets him on fire while he's still alive in front of fucking Chuck.
Yeah,
in front of the chicken.
No, in front of Chuck Norris.
Oh,
I think in front of the
chicken. He fries the chicken in front of him, like
and then the chicken's like, I gotta take revenge.
That's the next movie, Missing Action 4, Chicken Revenge.
Yeah, but dude, Missing in Action 3 is just so those movies set it up. It's like, all right, we're kind of in this contained sort of Vietnam War universe, right? And then we're still there, but Missing in Action 3 just like nosedives off a cliff. So what happens is there's like sort of the fall of Saigon.
Yeah.
And everything's going around. And apparently Chuck Norris's character, Braddock, has taken a wife. So we see her, she's packing up, and who's the other girl? Is it like her friend?
Like a roommate or friend or something? Yeah.
Something. It's not really established. So, and I was kind of drunk when I was watching the beginning of this. I was like, who is this woman? But anyway, she's like packing up. She's like, oh, well, I want to take this and this. She's like, take whatever you want. She gets this bracelet, this big gaudy bracelet, and puts on. It's like, I really like this. And the girl's like, whatever, right? So then like this missile or something comes in and hits the building where they're at, and it blows up, right? And then like Chuck's trying to find his wife. All these people are escaping. The wife's right there. She's like, I need into the embassy. I'm married to Braddock. And they're like, yeah, whatever, lady. And then they get in touch with Braddock and they're like, your wife's dead. And he's like, no, it can't be. So then he walks in and he looks and it's like the body on the table, right? And he sees like the gauntlet on the hand and he like pulls the cover down and he puts up, and he's like, oh, my wife's dead. And that's when I started laughing, because the whole basis of the movie is everything happens because his wife is dead. So 10 years pass, or is it more than 10? Is it 10 or I think it's 12.
It's more than 10 for sure.
I think it's 12 or 15. So it's like 12, 15 years later. And this guy's like, oh, no, your wife's alive. And he's like, no, there's no way. And I'm laughing because there's sort of that subtext there that's sort of unspoken, but it made me think that all Asians look the same or something. And I'm like, that's why he couldn't. I know it's terrible, but I'm like, the way that they set that up at the beginning, I'm like,
I thought it was going to be like, your wife's still alive. He's like, that's not my wife. That's a chicken in a dress. It's like,
so it turns out too that she had a son. So like he's like, I gotta go back and I gotta get him out of there. So the whole thing is like he gets there and then his son is like, I've heard about you, Braddock, and like shuns him. And then like his wife gets shot. So now it's just like him and the son trying to figure out this relationship that they have. And I'm like, oh, what the hell is going on? So I got to finish that, but it was pretty shitty.
Sounds like a great third act beckons. Yeah.
I watched it for the first time in years, maybe 2 or 3 years ago. It was fine. Like I hadn't watched it since, but you know,
I think it was just the craziness that like even though she was charred, it wasn't totally beyond recognition. He just saw the gauntlet there. It was just like,
look, it's a camera.
That's my wife.
Have to roll with the fact that he thinks she's dead because of the bracelet he gave her.
I know. So my mind went to that weird place of just that subtext to it, much like people do with like Nightmare on Elm Street 2 and everything. But Tyler finally sat down and watched. Been trying to get him to do this for ages. He watched a Charles Bronson classic, 10 to Midnight.
Oh my God, yeah, that was a real treat. A really, James, if you haven't never heard of it,
never seen that.
Yeah, it's a real joy to watch. It had me laughing a lot out loud because it's
amazing.
Yeah, like the killer in the movie runs around naked all the time, killing women.
Okay.
Yeah, and Charles
Bronson.
Yeah. Yes.
Charles Bronson runs around naked as well.
No, he doesn't. No, thank God. But
yeah.
But it's just silly. Like it's trying to play it straight, but the acting in it, I just busted out laughing during some of the It's
crazy. I'm going to change my audios because my battery is going to die. So
you do that. I'll mute your mic. But yeah, Tyler, tell us a little more about 10 to Midnight.
Yeah, if anyone hasn't seen it, like I said, it's on Tubi for free.
Yeah.
But there's a serial killer on the loose that is just killing random women like in the most like vulnerable states because they're all found naked. He just stabs them, but he does it naked. He gets naked and goes after them if they're having sex with someone and just kills them and gets off on it essentially. And just hearing Charles Bronson say, well, it's his way of having sex with him. The knife is his penis. And just hearing just hearing Charles Bronson like describe this stuff and like his daughter is one of the targets of the serial killer and Kelly Preston and the girl from the Thriller music video like are in it too, and the girl from Thriller gets naked. I'm like, holy shit, man! Like, it's got some nice moments of skin in the movie. What happened to James?
I don't know. His audio is still there. But the best part, I think, arguably, because Tyler sent me a video, and I'm pretty sure I sent Tyler a video clip of it when I watched it the first time, is when they have the killer in their grasps and they're interrogating him, and Bronson's got the machine, and I'll let you deliver the line. We almost used it as a stinger for the end of this episode, but I kind of
that was going to be my quote for this episode too. I got to come up with
well, yeah. Well, damn. All right. Sorry, I blew it for you.
Oh, no worries. Well, I just have to come up with another here on the fly. So
you go ahead and deliver the quote here.
Yeah, but he pulls out the sex toy that he found in the serial killer's apartment and just has nothing to do with the case. But he just feels compelled to pull this out. I was like, what is it? Catch your tongue? It's for jacking off, isn't it? Just to hear in this line, if anyone's interested, this one scene is 13 seconds. It's on YouTube.
Just,
yeah, you can just look it up and just Look up 10 to Midnight interrogation scene, and there it is in all its glory.
Yeah, oh, it's so good.
I was looking up Ola Ray from this movie. Yeah, she does a great performance.
Oh God, she does. Yeah, she looks amazing. Like, holy shit, that's Kelly Preston too, but she's not listed as Kelly Preston. She's listed as Kelly something else. But it's got a nice roster of beautiful women in the movie for sure. So it's definitely worth your time, and it's a fun movie. Like, it's not like Mystery Science Theater. Like, I mean, Mystery Science, you could rip the shit out of this movie.
It's great. It's laugh along fun time. Yeah.
But not like bad, like something that Tom Bryski would probably recommend. You know, that kind of stuff. It's still a fun, silly canon movie for sure.
It's not a Neil Breen movie.
No.
Well, James,
who am I? Who are you? What
have
am
you watched
I?
any shit movies, James?
Oh
recently?
God!
Anything you want to talk about before we bounce out of here?
No, not really. I can't. I'm watching. I've just been too busy creating rather than observing. I'm trying to think. I must have seen something. No, not really. No.
But go to Tubi, and then also some of these Norse movies are free with ads on YouTube as well. So just look them up. A lot of the shit's free for now. So go watch some Chuck. I've enjoyed my time, but like I said, any of them that set them too seriously around them, I don't enjoy those as much. It's got to have that little bit of like inadvertent levity for me. Just be like, oh man, that's really stupid. This is really shitty in parts, and make me laugh along the way.
I couldn't quite tell. I'm like, I can't tell what Nathan's telling me. Like, I'll let you know. Like, he must like some of these a lot, or he's like.
I enjoyed the vast majority of them. Like I said, I think the weakest ones for me were A Force of One, and An Eye for an Eye.
Yeah.
Everything else, like obviously Lone Wolf McQuade was my favorite of the bunch, and Missing in Action 3 is great in a bad way.
Yeah.
But I think a good balance is those first two Missing in Action movies. Like I've never watched any of the Delta Force stuff too, so I don't know how that.
I tried. I remember watching the first one as a kid, and of course we got to one sequence where they're gassing the guy and he starts bleeding out of his head, and my dad made me turn it off. And then I tried watching the first one years ago, and like it was boring as shit because the movie doesn't really get into the action until like almost an hour into the movie, and this is a canon movie, and I just said, fuck this. I'm not sitting through this.
I still one film on my radar that it's been on my radar for like it feels like 25 years, and I've just never got around to watching it. Is Megaforce.
Megaforce. What is that?
The Hal Needham directed movie. The guy who directed Cannonball Run 1 and 2. It's the one with who's the actor?
Barry Bostwick. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember.
And it's just like, I mean, there's that famous scene where he's riding the motorbike and then it just takes to the sky and it becomes like a jet bike, but it's the worst special effects. Well, I mean, it's the special effects from I think it's a Canon movie as well. And it's like, they were clearly thinking it was going to be, it has the potential for like a TV series, a cartoon, a toy line, because it's like Megaforce. I think it says deeds, not words. It's like, there you go.
Oh, I've seen that poster before. Yeah,
deeds, not words. There you go. Megaforce.
And Barry Bostwick is the star.
Yeah, there he is on his bike.
Oh my god, that is just great dog shit.
He's riding the bike, and it turns into like jet bike. He's like, and all his mates are on this big kind of freight ship that take like plane that's taking off, and then come on, and they open the and he's like on his bike, and he's like. And then he's flying. It's all completely green screen. Then he goes upside down. It's just the greatest scene in cinema history, and it's just like, I'd love to see the entire.
Sadly,
movie.
Not streaming for free anywhere.
I bet you any money if you go on YouTube, you can watch it.
It might be on there in full.
Yeah, someone just has it uploaded with like a different title or something like that.
I remember like sometimes when you go on YouTube, and it's like I wonder if like you type in like Surf Ninjas, and the entire film's just been uploaded.
Yeah,
there was something recently I watched, and it was just like on YouTube, and I was like, but what? The entire film? I can't remember what it was now.
Have you seen Surf Ninjas?
Yeah, of course.
Did you like it?
I thought Leslie Nielsen was the funniest thing about it because it was just, I mean, like, it's got Ernie Reyes, and I love Ernie Reyes.
Oh yeah.
And you can do it. Rob Schneider's in it. And
Tone Loc and Kelly Hu.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Just a bizarre film. It felt like, this could have been something but then I remember because we reviewed it for my friend's movie podcast, and I think we all rated it really low, very low. But I think I said it has the potential for something there, kind of like Megaforce. There's the potential for so much, and it kind of, I felt like with Surf Ninjas, it just kind of loses. I remember it losing its way at the end. It's sort of like Leslie Nielsen just gets defeated stupidly easy. It's oh, that's it. That's the end of the movie. There's the bit that made me laugh with the guard tumbling down the stairs.
Oh yeah, newsflash, your side lost, and he just rolls himself back down the.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember seeing the trailer for that when it was attached to Turtles 3 in theaters.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah, and I was, oh my god, it's Kino in his own movie. I got to see that. And,
I remember that there were so many films. I think I might have said this before on the podcast where they wouldn't necessarily come out in the UK cinemas at all. They'd go straight to VHS over here. So my only memory of them was buying comic books, and then there'd be a Surf Ninjas poster on the back cover or something.
Yeah.
Or there was always stuff like that. Like I've told you before, Encino Man. This is California, man. What are you talking about? Stuff like that where you're going through the comics and.
Oh yeah, so I guess back then they wouldn't have called it Surf Ninjas over there, right? They would have just called
it. No, it was called Surf Ninjas.
That's interesting.
I just don't know why. Certain things. What's the other film? What's the film with? I think it's Stephen Baldwin and the guy from Encino Man, and then something.
Oh, Biodome.
Yeah, I remember just the poster of that, of just their faces. I'm I have no idea what this film is.
The guy from Encino. I thought he meant Brendan Fraser, not
Pauly Shore. Yeah, Biodome's a piece of shit.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's good. I remember seeing the ad in the comics and being like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah, back then, man, Marvel Comics, they had ads for rated R movies and PG-13 movies all the time back then.
Yeah. I remember infamously, Now Comics, back in the 80s, you had Marvel, DC, and then Now came out prior to Image and Malibu. And Now Comics had a lot of properties. They had Astro Boy, Terminator, Married with Children, Quantum Leap.
Yes, God, I remember seeing that comic back then. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they had Quantum Leap, but they did Real Ghostbusters. And I remember their letters page in the Real Ghostbusters once being kind of flooded, or maybe flooded is an exaggeration, but people complaining because there was an advert for a Fright Night comic, and someone had done this. The artist had illustrated this hideous, monstrous face that was in a comic book, technically Real Ghostbusters, targeted at children. And the mother was like, "My son was traumatized by this image of the monsters." It was just oh boy,
what a bunch of wieners.
Yeah.
I think that parents had nothing better to do with their time but to sit down and write letters, say, "This film's too violent," or "This cartoon's too violent," "This toy's too violent."
It's easier to do these days. You just go on Twitter and you go,
they complain about
everything. All these Miss Lovejoys bitching about stuff. Will someone please think of the children? Fuck off.
I mean, just the effort. They got to write a letter, then they got to put it in an envelope.
But knowing that they were that pissed off about this. Oh, I don't like what was in this promo that was in this comic book that I bought for my child because it's supposed to be light and fluffy and bubblegum.
Well, I mean, aren't you supposed to, as a parent, kind of look at that stuff beforehand before you give it to your kid, maybe, and just deem it unworthy and then not give it to them so they don't.
Or if it was that bad, cut the page out.
Yeah, that too.
I mean, it was the back cover as well, so it was surplus to, just fuck it.
I couldn't imagine going to my mom of all the things that scared me and telling her or my dad, and they're just like, well, by God, we'll make sure you never have to see Freddy Krueger again. I'm gonna howl at every copy pulled from every video store. It'll never be shown on TV. My son pissed his pants over this. It's just
so
no. It's just what
my dad would have laughed at me. He's like, "Oh, you're scared of that? Let me find a way to implement it and scare you later on with it."
It's just they just say, "Well, just don't look at it. Don't watch it."
Yeah.
That's what my parents would tell me to do. So,
right.
But to think that a parent took the time to write a letter and they're going to get something. What did they expect to get in return? If they write this letter?
But it's
the satisfaction that no other child has to bear this
response. Yeah,
it ties into what we were talking about before we did the podcast. The parents who bitched about the first live action Turtles film being too violent, and then they tone it down to where Michelangelo's using fucking sausages, and no one's using the weapons at all.
Yeah,
and then it gets even worse in Turtles 3 because the parents are like, well, my child, I'm too lazy to explain violence to my kids or encourage them. No, don't hit your brother like you saw it in the movie. No, it's
And speaking of which, Tyler and I went and saw the first Turtles film in theaters last Sunday, and it was amazing.
Oh my god! I'm still on the high.
Did you all do a round of applause when Sam Rockwell came on screen?
No, not anything like that. But people laughed at the appropriate times. They weren't like taking the piss out of, look at the costumes, look at the funny faces, like, you know, making fun of or something like that. Everyone was there. They were hardcore Turtle fans, except for the moronic kid sitting next to me.
Well, and the whole thing was the mom that brought the kids there, obviously our age, saw the movie when they were younger, wanted to show it to their kids and have a theater experience. But that kid that sat beside of Tyler, I felt like for the most part was just, I don't want to say bored, but they were just very fidgety. And at one point, I think she brought her phone out and had like a game on it, but it wasn't like glaring. And
how old would you say the kids were?
Probably 10 and 6 or 7.
Yeah.
It might just be like, you know, it might just be like a 10-year-old being fidget. It could have been any movie. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, it was Tyler with
Minecraft or whatever.
Tyler with the old adage of just like, can't you just sit down for like 80
it's
some
an hour
minutes?
and a half. You can't sit still for an hour and a half.
If you're giant arms, you should have just gone like, elbowed his
head.
Not the kid out.
Purse up, like just take that purse
and
and fucking throw it.
And the mother would be like, "Oh, little Charlie's asleep," and you're like, "Yeah, he's sleeping soundly now."
Because my little brother would fall asleep. You know, he fell asleep when we saw Batman Returns. He fell asleep when we saw Hook. You know, he used to fall asleep a lot when we go to the movies. You know,
he's diagnosed narcoleptic. You're like, "Oh shit."
Here's Tyler and that girl at the Turtle screening.
Yep. Yeah, you know what was coming there. There's been plenty of times I wish I could have done it to people who sit next to me who just feel like they have to have commentary while they're watching a movie you pay good money for. And I would have loved just.
But to the mom's credit, anytime the kids started to get like just a little above to where it was a little loud, she'd be like, "Shh, you gotta like be." So overall, like they were bad. And then at the end, when Shredder is charging at Splinter, and Splinter uses a nunchuck to throw him over, the girl like audibly gasps. I'm like, all right, so she's
she marked out over that. She was, oh dang.
Yeah.
Like, all right, and that made it redeemable. Okay, she's not completely like, you know, I need something shiny. Yeah. You know, she was actually into the moment, you know, when it was appropriate. So
I can't remember if I told you when probably wouldn't have told you. Back in like 2017, I was dating this lass. I can say her name, Rochelle. Hello, Rochelle, if you're watching. You're probably not.
Yeah, I'm sure she's going to be watching.
And at the time I was dating her, her daughter Lily would have been about, I want to say about 5 or 6, and she was watching the film, like the classic She-Ra on Netflix, right? And I remember like Rochelle meeting up with her like a couple of days after she started watching it, and she was like, she goes, "Oh my god, it was so cute the other day. You loved it." Like Lily, apparently, like Rochelle was like watching telly in the other room. Lily comes rushing in, and she's like, "Mummy, like Adora is She-Ra," and I was like, "That's so cool." Like this little girl, like, oh my god, no, old cartoons, they don't appeal to young kids. This little girl, 5, 6 years old, sees for the first ever time Adora transform into She-Ra because she's got no prior knowledge of Master of the Universe or Princess of Power or something. And I just remember thinking, like, that is so cool. So she came in, like, so excited. Like, Adora is, like, She-Ra. She's transformed. Because you only get, obviously, in the first 3 episodes, you only get the hint of, like, who's the She-Ra character? And then Adora's, like, the baddie. So it's like, oh. And then Adora transforms into She-Ra. And I was like, that just said to me everything about, you know, and classic entertainment. It's like, oh, kids won't be interested in cartoons. They've got their phones. Well, try putting the phone down, elbowing them in the face and being like, look, through the black eye, watch the freaking telly. Watch the telly.
Go on, man.
Yeah, go on.
I did something that with my nephew.
Us, right? When the teacher beat the shit out of Gary Johnston, rest in peace, it made him more of a man. I mean, they got the teacher fired, his brothers threatened to kill the man, but yeah, aside from that.
God.
Go on then. Oh, no, don't.
Well, on a lighter note, Tyler, you were talking about your nephew.
Oh yeah, no, because you know, I took it upon myself as I'm just like, you know, I'll see how they react to it. And my oldest nephew, he saw more of it, but I I would show him He-Man cartoons, and he would just sit there and watch them on my phone and not say a word, just be watching. Can I watch another one? Can I watch another one? And I remember when we were at the beach with them about maybe 2-3 years ago. When we come back from dinner, he asked if he could watch a He-Man cartoon. So I gave him my phone. I put on Diamond Ray Disappearance, and he's just sitting there quietly, and all we can hear is, just I'm like, oh, here comes this moment, here comes that moment, and he's giving his fun feedback about it. And then the next day we were out in the ocean. He's telling me, like, I really like that one character. Like, I like to be like him. He's got like the multiple eyes, like Triclops. He's like, yeah, he's badass. He's my favorite. I just thought, like, see, I didn't ask him to say. He went out of his way to go tell me that. And
your brother's sitting there all cross-armed,
staring you down. But he genuinely loved the live action movie because he said, "Can I see the real He-Man? Can I see the real He-Man?" That's what he would call the live action movie. And him and my youngest nephew, they sit there and just watch, and just like they wouldn't want to watch the fight sequences. So I'd show them the fight in the junkyard, or the fight in Grayskull at the end of the movie, and they just sitting there quietly, just watching it. Just, I'm like, it can be done. All you got to do is just take the time. But my brother's like apprehensive about some of the stuff. Like, I tried to show him live action turtles, and like, no, that's too much. Like, seriously, dude, So I have to abide by his rules, but I kind of pull back on a lot of that now. I really wanted to see if they would really take to it. And I think a lot of that stuff they still like or enjoy or make reference to if I bring it up, or if they happen to bring it up.
I mean, like I've said it before, and I'll say again, I think the biggest problem with children's entertainment these days anyway is just the consumption of it, how it's consumed. It's not like when we were growing up, it was a case of when we were growing up, more than likely when you're going to school the following day, you'd all watch the same show or whatever. It was always the same. Like for us in the UK, especially, we had 3 bloody channels, or 4, circa mid-80s. So on any given school night, you'd go, oh, did you watch Turtles last night? Did you watch Fresh Prince? Did you watch Quantum Leap? It was like water cooler talk for school. And it was you. And then as soon as kind of cable TV, not really in the 90s, but like in the mid-noughties, and obviously the advent of streaming, you want to talk about a complete not destruction, that's melodramatic, but that kind of dissolving of community within entertainment, of like kids going like these, like it sounds like a real old man talking now with Miss Stream and Miss Steen and stuff, but like kids will just be, they can't go into school the following day and say, oh, did you watch that show? Like, no, I was watching Minecraft on my YouTube. Oh, I was watching so and so on my phone. It's completely.
They don't have appointment TV anymore. Like, when you got home from school, this comes on, or Saturday morning, this comes on, and that comes on.
TV movie premieres was such a big deal in the 80s.
Was,
like,
and
holy shit! Like those. Superman 3 is going to be on TV. That's insane. Superman 3 is going to be on. The only reason I say that is because.
What's that, Nathan?
Oh, it's just like, and then you sit down and you watch it, and you're like, oh. Did you finish watching the Plinkett Star Wars video?
Yeah, I watched it all. It was not. I was hoping he would be a little bit more savage with the modern Star Wars shit, and of course, he was good, but then it kind of got to where he was being a little bit more serious, like, saying that even though Phantom Menace and the prequels, they all suck, at least George is trying to be creative, whereas the corporate Disney shit is just like, okay, we got
just a machine.
Just a machine, and this checklist of things. Put this in there, put that in there, which is what's happening with everything. Happened with He-Man, it happened with everything else that's going on right now.
Yeah.
It's all checklist and agenda stuff.
That's what I was saying. Look, it's utterly pointless to show. There he is.
That's awesome.
But this is from the TV Times. The same way. There's a reason I bought this, because I'm currently making a She-Ra video. This was the week that She-Ra first aired in the world, in very old England. But in the same week, so She-Ra aired on the Monday, on 7:30 on Thursday. Superman 3 debuted on UK TV. Man. There you go. But it was it's that thing of like you going to school the following day. I saw Superman. It's just.
Or because for us, a lot of times we would just tape it, because if it was on TV, I can just tape this, and have my own copy of it for free.
And also, like, do you even think that? I mean, I doubt it these days, but back then there were TV versions of films.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like you get. Was it the first Superman? I think had extended scenes. Earthquake was a famous movie from the. I love that disaster movie. that film had like an hour of TV material, because obviously when they showed it on as a network premiere, they did it over like a 3-hour period. I was like, this film's an hour and a half, so luckily we've got all this raw material we can just include. Like,
to get more ad breaks and things like that too. And
exactly.
They did it with Halloween.
They
made Halloween, the TV version of Halloween and the TV version of Halloween 2 with all this extended footage to expand for a 2-hour time slot. And I miss that excitement of just seeing any movies ever, which I'm sure on network television, they do still play movies. They just don't mean anything anymore.
They don't unless it's just something you're catching if you're like at the doctor's office or if you're at the gym and it's on TV or whatever. But the appointment television's gone. I mentioned that before, that the good thing about the internet is like the community of stuff still exists, and you can find other people that watch niche things that you were super duper into. We may have lost James? Like James is just frozen there. I think we lost him.
He's
I guess his phone wasn't charging. So there goes James. Let me take myself. There we go. I'll send him a message. But it's like the internet, the community is still there, but there's not the thing. It's like I mentioned before, all those millions of people watch the finale of MASH, and now it's just like, are you watching the show Shrinking on Apple TV? And most people are like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So, but there are people that watch it and everything. I'll send the LOL there. Well, we will go ahead and we will wrap the show up because I don't know if James is coming back. But thanks, James, for joining us for this episode.
It's been an absolute blast, dude.
Bring in the bonus materials. It's always a pleasure seeing all the extra stuff, the storyboards, especially seeing stuff that was cut, dialogue that was cut too. Always a great time. If you guys enjoyed this episode, give us a like. If you haven't subscribed, do so already. Leave a comment down below. Give us your opinions on the Sleepers Awaken, or rank some Chuck Norris movies, or if you've seen 10 to Midnight, let us know.
Yeah.
And until later, let the power return.
I don't give a fuck about your war or your president.
Oh yeah, that's Escape from New York.
Yeah.
What is the line that is sort of similar in that regard in LA? Because there's something that
he says, like, well, fuck you, I'm going to Hollywood.
Is it? I thought he said something else too in regards to like,
well, because it's the president's daughter that's landed in LA, so he's looks like she's looks like belongs to Utopia's lover boy now. And I guess they talking about the deal and said, well, fuck you, I'm going to Hollywood. Like, he's like, I'm going anyway, essentially. So
I need to do those in a double feature, as I texted you about last night.
Escape from LA, it's still good. People shit. I'm like, it's got some moments that probably should have been cut, but overall, I'm like, I love the music, I love the look of Snake in the movie. Like, it's there's a lot of good stuff going for it. I'm sorry, but I think people just like to pinpoint that basketball scene. That never bothered me. I figured the surfing sequence I figured would bother everybody.
I think there's a little bit of that too. Oh. Like you see that? Yeah, I saw James.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, boys. My phone was supposed to be charging. It clearly wasn't. Always a pleasure. Thanks for having me on. Keep up the awesome work. So There we go.
No, I had no problem with the basketball scene because I was really into basketball at the time. So, like, seeing him like playing basketball, I went outside like after watching that and was trying to reenact that, like doing like the countdown, like hitting shots. I was like, oh my god, if I miss, I'm gonna get shot.
I think this would have been like 10th grade, maybe 11th grade. You weren't there in the PE class, but we were doing like basketball. So people were doing shots and we're just like talking shit to get them to like miss, even though they would probably miss anyway because they're not good at basketball. But that would have been one I probably would have tried to have done too if I would have watched Escape from LA around that when it came out.
Yeah, and I had no idea like that Escape from New York was the first film. I just remember seeing the video stores and thinking it was a comedy or a silly movie. And
I mean, around that time period, there was a lot of stuff that because we didn't really have the internet back then.
No,
at that point in time, and even if we did, it would have been dial-ups. Would have been fast anyway. But I didn't really start getting into movies until you were the one that's like, check this out and check this out. Oh, you really like that one? Well, this guy directed it. You should check this out. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So like, because all I did back then, and you saw, I was like, oh, what movie's playing? Oh, let's go see that. It wasn't like I'm planning to go. It's just you show up, look what's playing, oh, let's go see this.
Yeah,
that was my.
You had a general audience mentality for it.
Yeah, I did.
Then, yeah,
unfortunately, but it's okay. I'm better
now. Oh God, yeah. That.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I mean, for Tyler to be like, I really want to hang out with these guys, he went and watched Dude, Where's My Car?
I was being a good sport, and deep back of my mind, I'm like, oh my God, like.
I gotta help this poor guy.
Yeah, I was like, okay, well, we'll come out of this piece of shit, and then I'll steer him this way, and he's
he was already thinking it's like, all right. He said something about liking horror movies. I know he's probably never watched like Evil Dead. Let's work that in.
Yeah, he needs to see Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3. He needs to see vampires. He needs to see the 66 Batman movie.
I'd already seen the 66 movie.
I think just bringing it back, like you said, I don't think he had seen it in so long. I think that's what it was.
Yeah. Look at my vintage Master Universe collection. Oh, I remember that. Good.
Yeah.
Check this out. So,
yeah. I've probably been the biggest bane of Nathan's wallet.
I think. I guess it's sort of a what if. I feel like I eventually would have come back around to a lot of this stuff and still ended up collecting things. Mm-hmm. Maybe, but one would often wonder, would I just have framed photos of just like
Incubus and Limp Bizkit? And
hey, there's nothing wrong with that. Oh, by the way,
that's what your room was decorated with. I'm saying that's what you had on display at the time.
Yeah, it was a bunch of new metal stuff. Yeah,
Nathan he had music stuff on display. It wasn't movies he had like a Atlanta Braves, I think, fan or something like that in your room or something.
Well, that at the time it's like, we need to repaint this. So that stayed just like decorated because it was like sports motif, and then it turned into music motifs, and then it turned into like movies and toy motif.
Yeah,
and it's kind of stayed movie toys ever since then. But music wise, new Deftones album dropped on Friday. Really, really good. It's better than their past couple of albums. So if you like some Deftones and we're living under a rock and they got a new record, go check that out. And one final thing from Johnny saying hello from Fan Expo Canada. Thanks for popping in here the last little bit. And thanks to all of you for joining us live and after the fact. Hope you enjoyed this episode. We'll catch you soon.
Take care, everyone.
Waste any time getting from safe zone to safe zone.
Expletive deleted.